Hello, good evening and welcome to this Irish Examiner live stream broadcast of the 2020 Cork Ladies Senior Football Championship final between Mourneabbey and West Cork. In these strange and unusual times, there is some sense of normality with this fixture today, as this is the third season in a row that this pair have contested the decider. Mourneabbey won both of those finals and are today seeking a staggering 7th county title in a row, while their opponents are still hunting for their first. There are stars and subplots aplenty in this decider, and we will discuss all of that in a few moments' time with our match analysts Breed Stack and Aoife Fitzgerald. But first, it is time to check in with our two camps. Earlier in the week, I spoke with the West Cork manager Brian McCarthy. But first up, let's hear the thoughts of Mourneabbey's corner forward and captain, Breed O'Sullivan.
Now we're heading to Mourneabbey, and I'm thrilled to welcome the captain of Mourneabbey, Breed O'Sullivan. Breed, no stranger to county finals, and no strangers to West Cork either, for that matter.
No, definitely not. I think if you had told us 7 years ago when we won our first county final that we'd still be here going for our 7th county title in a row, I don't think that anyone would have believed you. So we're just delighted to have the opportunity to play again after what's been a year of a bit of uncertainty around the whole championship. We're just delighted to be able to have the opportunity to play.
The million-dollar question: what is the secret in Mourneabbey? What are you drinking up there? What's the training? Is it Gerlochnan up at 6 o'clock in the morning, running on mountains or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I suppose, I think that, there's been a core group of players who have been involved for the last 7 years and before that as well. And I think that we've built, a really strong team and, really strong friendships. And I think that really has stood to us over the past 2 years, especially finally getting over the line in the All-Ireland.
Okay, how big of a thing was it to eventually get over the line in the All-Ireland? Was that a bit of a monkey on the back for you?
Yeah, definitely. I think that a lot of girls would be of the opinion that, I think that we've devoted, a lot of our the early stages of our 20s to this team. And just to finally get over the line, I think it was more so the relief than anything at the very start, to be able to say that we had won the All-Ireland. I think it was just a massive relief. And I think that we've kind of, realised our potential since then, and we've been able to continue it in 2019 as well.
Okay, now it's, as you said, a very different year this year for you, but a very familiar opponent in West Cork. It's a little rivalry that's simmering away for the last 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, definitely. I think the first time that we came up against them there 2 years ago, they definitely put it up to us that we drew with them the first day out in CIT, and we had to go to a replay. And, we had a really tough battle against them last year as well. So I think both teams could say that we know each other inside out at this stage, and, we have a lot of experience of playing with some of the girls that play for West Cork on core teams and on college teams. So, I think we definitely know what they're about and they know what we're about. And, we drew with them there not so long ago, earlier on in the summer. So I think it all makes for an exciting game on Saturday.
Okay, that was an incredible game from anyone that was at that match. They were putting it down as one of the games of the year. Again, is it easier or more difficult to be in your situation? The fact that you are now going for 7 in a row against a team that you've beaten twice in finals and are just so hungry to break through that glass ceiling.
Yeah, I think there's, a few positives and negatives to it. I think, winning is definitely a habit, and I think that that's something that we have worked hard on over the last number of years. So I think the experience of knowing what county final day is about and, preparing yourself for it is definitely something that you can get used to. I think that you could probably question that, are they more hungry than us? But I think that for a lot of players who have been on the road at Mourneabbey for a few years, they wouldn't still be playing unless they wanted to win. you know, and unless they wanted to put in a performance for Mourneabbey. So I don't think that we will be questioning our hunger for wanting to win 7 in a row, and hopefully our experience will stand us on Saturday.
Okay, in terms, Breed, of this strange couple of months that we've had, hard to believe a couple of months ago we didn't even think we would have a championship. What's been the biggest difficulty that you found in terms of playing, training, preparing?
Yeah, I suppose that at the start we were just so happy to get back to training. You know, I think that when you're used to training as a team and you're used to, you know, having your group trainings 3 times a week, I think it can get kind of hard to motivate yourself to train by yourself. And I think that, you know, lockdown taught everyone that, and I have a massive respect for anyone who trains by themselves, having had to do it for a little bit during lockdown. So I think that, you know, having that experience of training by ourselves just made everyone, you know, so happy to be finally back on the pitch and be training with other people. And, you know, I think that was a really positive thing going into the summer. And then, you know, I think during the summer there was kind of just a few iffy periods of will it go ahead, won't it go ahead? But I think that you kind of just need to be able to put that to the back of your mind and take it one day at a time and one training session at a time. And, you know, say that you're going to give it your all for this training session and then look forward to the next one if it happens.
Okay, finally, the fact that this game on Saturday evening is being broadcast live by the Irish Examiner as part of our live streaming of championship matches in Cork, just, I suppose, shows how far ladies football, women's sport has come in the 7 years since this winning streak began for you.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think that we have always kind of got recognition from the community in Mourneabbey and around the Mourneabbey area. But, you know, I think it's just great to get for ladies football and for women's sport to be kind of getting the recognition on a bigger stage like that, and, you know, being thought as equal to the men's sport. So just, you know, I think great credit is due to the Irish Examiner and to the Cork Ladies Football Board as well for putting it together.
No, I'm delighted to welcome Brian McCarthy to our Irish Examiner live stream coverage of today's Cork Ladies Football Final. Brian, divisional sides are always a big struggle, whether it's the men's game, the ladies' game, anywhere in the country. But I'd say in your case, would it be fair to say this is probably the biggest divisional side geographically in the entire nation?
Yes, Colm, thanks very much for having me. First of all, delighted the Irish Examiner streaming the game. Yeah, geographically, it's enormous. I think if people can consider this, that from where some of the girls come in Beara to get to my own home club, which is Clonagale and Drumleague, is an hour. And then you have another hour then on to Shannon. That'll tell you the size of West Cork. As I said, geographically huge. But it is what it is, and we just have to get on with it. And in fairness to the girls, they've committed for the last 5 years, and we continue to do so because they enjoy it, I take it, and long may it continue.
No, yeah, but listen, back to what I was saying at the start, divisional sides, by their nature, you're pulling from so many various clubs, and there's rivalries and everything like that. So how do you manage to do that over such a huge area of ground in terms of training? Do you have a central training base? Do you rotate it around, etc.?
We depend on clubs, really and truly, Colm. I suppose the clubs in West Cork have been very, very good to us. Yes, we try to find a neutral ground between that'll be central to both the girls in Ahali's way down in Beara and the girls in Shannon. So you're looking, like, for instance, we've had St. Colum's in Kilkill, we've had the Bantry Blues ground, we've had Clonagale's ground, St. Oliver Plunkett is Zahio. So we'll try to find a central base as much as we possibly can, and that's subject to availability, and that can be quite hard at times, trying to plan for things. And if other games are involved on those pitches and they come up at the last minute, well, then we have to go searching again. And look, it can be hard to plan, but we're sort of used to it now at this stage, Colm, and we, like anything else in game, we like the game scenario, and that you have to adapt. In the games, we have to adapt in these times as well with divisional teams, and look, we're used to it at this stage.
Okay, well, you're used to being in the final as well, and you're used to playing Mourneabbey. I think, is it unfortunate in a way that you've come up against one of the great club sides, not just of a generation, but perhaps of all times?
I would look at it slightly different. I wouldn't say it's unfortunate. I think it's a huge challenge. I suppose when you do get involved in sport, when you do want to set this up and play against teams, you want to play the best. And look, they have been the best for the last 6 years. There's no question about that, undeniably. Huge respect and admiration for what they've done, what they've achieved. But then again, we have to look internally and say, right, okay, where are we at? How do we improve? Yes, every year we have girls come and go, and we're always looking to improve. But they're there. It's going to be 15v15 the next day. And we're looking forward to it. We really are looking forward to it.
I presume you took a lot of heart from the game earlier in the year. A thrilling match between the two of you. People that were at it were saying it was probably one of the best matches, full stop, this year.
It was a good game, yeah. I suppose from the coaching our manager's point of view, and like Shane would be of the same mindset. In that, look, we took a lot of positives from it. Yes, there was one or two negatives that we needed to work on, and we've been lucky enough that we have been able to work on those the last 2 games. It's the first group stage. I think both teams were feeling their way through it to see where they were at that stage of the year, considering where we are in the current climate. And I think both teams are reasonably happy. We knew that we have to make a huge improvement on the next day. And but I would feel that the opposition will know as well that they have to improve to overcome us as well the next day. So, look, I think any time between ourselves and the opposition, I think it's always been a cracking game. Last year, yes, look, they got off to a fantastic start, and we're mindful of that. And we'll be looking to counteract that again this year as much as we possibly can. But I think for us, it's about trying to implement our game plan the next day as much as we possibly can against an extremely, extremely good club team. And look, as I say, anybody looking in, I think they could be in for a treat.
Okay. No, I was just reading a piece from the chairman of the St. Brendan's division. They were playing East Kerry, of course, in the Kerry semi-final on Friday night. And he was just making the point, though, that for a divisional side, as standards begin to rise, the problem is you're probably going to lose one or two clubs along the way. It's something I'm sure you're only too well aware of.
Very much so. Very much so. I suppose, I think it was year 2 we lost Kinsale. That's part and parcel of it. So you're losing the calibre of likes of Sybo O'Leary, Orla Finn, Tracy McCarthy, A.D. Lynch, just to mention a few. And next year we'll be losing the Clonakilty girls, which is unfortunate because look, you're looking at Martine O'Brien, Moira Barrett, Maeve O'Donovan, and the Clonakilty girls have been, we'll say, for instance, they've been very much one of the strongholds for us in the last number of years. But look, divisional sides, that's the nature of the beast. You have to overcome it. And again, like this year, we lost Claire O'Leary, Niamh Cotter, 2 very influential players for us. But then girls have to step up to the plate. And in fairness, they have done this year. And we expect the same again next year.
Okay, final question then. The standard of ladies football in Cork, Brian, the reason I asked that question was the gulfing class between you and Mourneabbey in your semi-finals, like huge score lines that you put up there. Was it like Ahada and Erogue, you're talking an average of about 8, 9, 10 goals of a difference?
Yeah, I was asked this question during the week as well, Colm, and looking back, I think I'm not sure there's a huge gulf. I think what's happening here is that you find that you look at teams and they're either in a rebuilding process or, in Ahada's case, first time in there into a semi-final of a county championship, which is a huge step. And I suppose from the very first year, we've always told new girls who come into this, guys, no matter what inter-county at under 16 or minor level, this is another step up, and the pace of the game is absolutely frightening. And it takes a while to adjust. And I probably, no respect to Ahada, I think even talking to their coach afterwards, he found that, he said, your pace and your directness, we were able to counteract what they were able to do. I suppose in Éire Óg's case, we met them in the group stage and we had a tough game in St. Columns. And you do get these results every so often that crop up that will surprise you. But Éire Óg, I believe, are in a rebuilding phase. And they have some young talent coming through that give them time and give them as much game time as you possibly can. And they will see the fruition of that in a couple of years' time. But they're going through a rebuilding phase. But look, I think, with respect to everybody else, you're looking at probably the two best teams in the final. And please God, will it touch the green look and a bounce to the ball and maybe a couple of referees' decisions this show, we might just tip the opposition, but they'll be looking for the same as well.
Now we're heading.
And our thanks to Breathe and to Brian for their time during the week ahead of today's county final. Well, the teams are after completing their warm-ups here in CIT for this very strange Cork final. Of course, we still have the situation where no fans allowed at the grounds. Hopefully that'll be changing in the next couple of weeks. Delighted to have Breed Stack and Aoife Fitzgerald here alongside us. Guys, you've seen plenty of county finals featuring Mourneabbey and plenty of county finals full stop, but this must go down as one of the stranger sensations.
Definitely. I suppose down through the years, I've been lucky enough to come to a couple of the county finals, and they've always been massive occasions, with a couple of thousand at them in the last couple of years, which has been fantastic, and the roof would nearly be lifting off CIT, and that's what you want. You want spectacles, and I suppose there's such excitement between these two teams because you just don't know what you're going to get on the day. And I suppose last year, maybe the way it petered out, it didn't live up to kind of the big occasion that was here 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, there was a draw, and it went to a replay last year. Mourneabbey came out and just went to town on West Cork in the opening round. So you just don't know what you're going to get here, and I think that's the excitement that comes with it. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of people tuning in and looking forward to a great spectacle. And
indeed, we in the Irish Examiner are delighted to be live streaming the game right around Cork, around Ireland and throughout the world this afternoon. Aoife Fitzgerald, delighted to have you here as well too. Aoife. Of course, these sides met in the group stages. If that's anything to go for, we're in for a cracker today.
Yeah, we are. I was at the game, and I think West Cork will probably consider themselves a bit unlucky. They had a lot of goal scoring chances that they didn't take. I think today will come down to be honest, it's club team, which they're together a lot more. They're training together all the time. There's that extra bit of spirit there, as distinct from when you look at the West Cork team. They're sprinkled with talent, but it's just trying to blend them together. And I suppose with the championship this year, the way it's gone, there's been junior championship, intermediate championship, and they've all been in a very short space of time, so it's going to be very difficult for them to prepare properly. But on paper, you would say that West Cork are very, very strong, but collectively Mourneabbey are probably would probably have that little bit over them. And as well as that, they're used to winning counties and they're used to winning matches and All Irelands now at this stage as well. So but it'll be interesting. I think last year, as Breed said there, Mourneabbey kind of ran away with it early on, and it was just damage limitation from there on in. But I do think that the gap has closed, but whether it's closed enough or not for West Cork to win it, I'm not so sure, but we'll see in an hour.
Okay, we'll bring up the Mourneabbey team there on our screen. Teams are as selected, so no changes from what's appearing on your screen there. And Breed, you're going to run through a team laden with talent and All-Ireland winners, county winners, and a few Cork senior players in there as well too.
Yeah, and look, I suppose not a massive panel. I think Darren said during the week, I think they have a panel of 24, but of that they have 7, 8, 9 county players. They have massive experience, and I suppose the biggest thing is that they're so established now. They're so used to playing with each other. There's massive trust there and massive belief, and I suppose they back each other to the hilt every single time. I suppose starting goals with Maeve, she's been between the posts now for Mourneabbey for many years, is well used to commanding her backline. And what a backline it is. I suppose in the last couple of years they haven't changed that backline too often. Emer Meany is anchoring it there at full back. Catherine Coakley has moved to centre back, where maybe Roisin would have been there the last couple of years. And I think by all means Catherine is making massive efforts, massive travel, I suppose, this year, seeing so she's moved to Lismore. But she's a fantastic player, and I suppose that's a very, very strong core down the centre of Mourneabbey. To the left of her then Emma Coakley, her sister, back home from Dubai, and I suppose I remember many a tussle with Emma myself. She's a very, very tough player, so that will definitely toughen up the Mourneabbey defence. Maura Callan, I suppose, was out injured for the first round when they took on West Cork in the first round of Championship, and I think her inclusion in the Aero game was a massive difference. She's a powerhouse and maybe an unsung hero sometimes. In the Mourneabbey team, she does a lot of Trojan work, and it's a very strong midfield there between herself and Roisin. I suppose, look, they're losing. They've lost Noelle Healy from a very, very, very strong attack, but it doesn't seem to have unsettled them. Ellie Jack has already put up 116 from centre forward already this championship, and you're looking at scores like Kira 2-4 this championship, Darren 2-9, Laura Fitz 5-3. So they have massive scoring threats all over their forward line, and a very, very formidable side from start to finish.
Okay, Aoife, I'm going to bring you in there in terms of the West Cork. Is it going to be the battles of high scoring attacks that's going to decide this?
Well, I think if it is, then you'd have to fancy Mourneabbey with the strength and the power they have up front with the Sullivans, and Laura Fitz, and that they're very, very strong individually. For me, I think West Cork will have to protect their backline and stay in the game. Particularly in the first half, they'll just have to get bodies back, and they're set for counter-attacking, really. They have Fiona Keating inside, and with Libby Coppinger, two great ball winners, and have pace to burn. So from that point of view, I think the counter-attack would suit them. Whether they set up that way or not, I don't know. But when you look at their defence, you have Martina, who's been Cork goalkeeper for a number of years now, and is a fantastic leader. And that you have Siobhan Courtney, Christine, who are young girls. Sarah Hayes has come into the Cork panel this year and has done extremely well. Trained very, very hard. Is very fit now, and has turned into a fine full back. Claire O'Shea likewise, Emma Spillane, Melissa Duggan. I mean, when you look at that back line, out of the 7, there's 6 of them involved with us, so that'll tell you the strength that's back there. But as I said, the big concern I would have is that they don't play together that often, so that's going to be a factor certainly. For me this year in the championship, from the games I've seen, Eve Murphy has been a standout player. Now she missed the last game against Aero, but she's been absolutely fantastic, and the link between backline and forward line, she's strong, physical, aggressive. She's actually joined us in the Cork scene at this stage now, but she's I think she is has great potential, but she's also very important to Cork, as I say, or to West Cork, in terms of linking defence and forward line. And again then up front you have Anya Terry, as I said, Libby, Fiona, Dara Kiley. The list, if you look at the two teams on paper, you'd say West Cork, yeah, they're very, very strong, but can they gel? And I mean, that's going to be the big thing for me today. And as I say, Mourneabbey know how to win counties, because they've been doing it so regularly. West Cork, as long as the occasion doesn't get to them. Now this is their third or fourth final in a row, so you would imagine that should be gone. And I would say possibly maybe not having the crowd might help as well. The atmosphere is a little bit dead. Mourneabbey have a lot of following, and they'd be very vocal, so that could possibly help the divisional side as well.
That's an interesting point, Breed, just in terms of the lack of crowd. Psychologically it's going to have some impact, or as Aoife said, it might actually have a positive for one of the teams.
Yeah, definitely, and like Aoife said, Mourneabbey, they have a huge following. They travelled the length and breadth of the country with them for the last couple of years, and very, very vocal. They really get behind their team, and I suppose, look, yeah, like I said, for many years there has been a massive crowd at this. So does it feel like a county final? No, at the moment. So it definitely comes down to, I suppose, who's more tuned in from the absolute start. And as well, I suppose the water break is a completely different thing this year. It can completely break someone's momentum. So a game could flip on its head in the space of 15 minutes.
Okay, in terms, Aoife, of these two teams putting up massive score lines in the semi-finals, is there a massive gulf between the two teams that we're seeing here and the rest of the chasing pack?
I think there is. I mean, I thought Kinsale were coming, they were very young, but again, I had to beat them. There are teams on the way, and I think you'll find with ladies football over the years, Dunamore had a massive stint there where they were winning counties every year. It kind of comes in waves, and Mourneabbey now have been there for the last 7 or 8 years, probably coming to the end of their cycle as well now. So it's just, I think Glanmire will be strong going forward. You have, as I said, Kinsale. There are teams coming, and I think the thing is getting stronger, but I would say from looking at the results from this year and looking at the two teams, yeah, certainly they're a good bit ahead of everybody else.
Okay, well, the teams falling into formation and position there. going to put heads in the chopping blocks. Breed, start with you.
Well, I suppose, look, you can't back against a club team, and especially a club team like Mourneabbey. They don't panic. They know how to see out games. They know how to hold on to wins. So I suppose, look, I'd have to back Mourneabbey for this as well. You throw in that this is a year like no other. They've had all their county players for a longer, more concentrated period of time. You couldn't back against them.
Okay, Aoife, I presume you're going along a similar line?
Yeah, I think, well, the only way I can see West Cork winning really is if they stay in the game, as I said early on, and maybe, if they're in it with 10-15 minutes to go with the players they have, I'll give them an opportunity maybe, but yeah, I'd say Mourneabbey for me as well.
Thanks to Aoife and Breed. We'll be delighted to have their company right throughout the afternoon. It's West Cork who are playing from right to left, so Mourneabbey in possession there on that far side of the field there, and it's Ciara O'Sullivan who's off and running there, and that's the 45-yard line that she's crossing, trying to shake off Emma Spillane. Has managed to do that, has a runner inside, and is there a goal chance coming up here in the opening few moments here for Mourneabbey, being held off, a shot, and it's trickled into the back of the net. A blitzkrieg attack from Mourneabbey, and it's resulted in a goal after less than 30 seconds.
Yeah, and look, this is not the start that West Cork need. I suppose, look, last year they suffered an early kind of onslaught of goals. Mourneabbey are notorious for goals, and you have to try to stop them at every chance you get, and perfect start for Mourneabbey, not the start that West Cork want.
Laura Fitzgerald looked to be the one who applied the finish there, but we talked about that stunning start that Mourneabbey had last year. Well, they've had exactly the same, and there's another chance coming in, but this time the ball overplayed, and goalkeeper Martina O'Brien, who really had no chance with Fitzgerald's shot there in the opening few moments, and it's given Mourneabbey the dream start, a goal up after less than a minute played here. Let's see what the response is going to be like.
And Mourneabbey are definitely testing the water early on, lobbing in the first 2 or 3 balls there just to test the water in the back line, and I suppose really put West Cork under pressure a small bit.
An attack breaking down here in front of us, and ever so slowly out come Mourneabbey again. Ciara O'Sullivan again back helping out in defence and starting on the attack again, and has shown so well in the opening moments. Niamh O'Sullivan is offloading it in to Breed O'Sullivan, and Breed O'Sullivan, the captain and corner forward, throwing it over.
But again, as we suggested earlier, they look wide open at the back. I think West Cork have to steady it down, even get a bit of possession for a minute or so. They're 4 points down now with 2 minutes. That's quite a big breeze here, actually, bigger than I thought. But if they don't get the grips of this in the next 10 minutes, they're going to concede more goals. Ciara's causing a lot of trouble already on the far side.
Yeah, I was just about to say Ciara O'Sullivan in the opening few minutes has had 2 or 3 key possessions and has been a huge playmaker. Rachel Murphy from Bantry Blues is on your screen there. That's her there, taking it out, forced to go across to Lisa Hart O'Donovan, but her shot trailing out and wide.
I suppose just West Cork forcing a lot of errors at the start, a lot of hand passes going astray, and I suppose being forced wide there with the kick, and they definitely need to try to steady into this game. Mourneabbey definitely starting the better.
Yes, indeed. Great kick out by the goalkeeper, picking out Niamh O'Sullivan. It fell back, I think, to Aoife Walsh, who was fouled as she was going down to collect the ball. And Mourneabbey coming yet again. There's just wave after wave of them. Good play there, Aisling O'Sullivan helping out, and it's in with Ellie Jack. Great turn of pace by Ellie there, shakes off the tackle, punching it first time in towards the full forward line.
But again, they're going girl on girl here.
Again, there's Ellie Jack, and on this occasion it's gone over the bar, but there was a goal on there for a second.
Yeah, they're going girl on girl, which I think is madness, to be honest. And as well as that, playing against the gale force wind, they need more protection back there. You have Doireann inside, you have Laura Fitzgerald inside, and Ciara breaking through the middle. It's very, very difficult to stop that individually.
Interesting to see the goalkeeper Martina O'Brien opting to go short there, and they're walking it out now here from the fence here in front of us with the corner back there, and that's Christine O'Sullivan from Beara. She's gone into Eve Murphy from Bantry Blues, opting to go right across the pitch here. A good run out to collect that there. Looked to be Fiona Keating, the Corsi Rovers dual star. Nice turn of pace by Fiona, being held up and forced to go back to Lisa Hart O'Donovan. That miss a few moments ago. Emer Kiley, one of the 2 Kileys from Valley Rovers. Anya O'Sullivan, still Anya O'Sullivan, bursting through. It's still on Terry. Anya O'Sullivan, the shot, great save by the goalkeeper Maeve O'Sullivan coming out. And I'll tell you, That was a let-off from a Mourneabbey perspective.
Definitely, and I suppose look, Anya is so powerful and strong on the ball, and she really showed a little bit of a chink in the armour there, broke through, and I suppose maybe just unlucky not to keep it low. Maeve did well though, in fairness, to keep the shot out.
Did the defence back off a small bit there?
Did it, but Anya's very strong again, individually very strong, one-on-one. A little bit more composure. She'd have scored. It was a great save, to be fair.
Yeah, goalkeeper Maeve O'Sullivan.
But that's encouraging signs at the same time for West Cork that they were able to break through.
I said Maeve, of course, sister Roisin, Ciara and Darren, part and parcel of this Mourneabbey setup. Emer Kiley of Valley Rovers, of course, junior championship success, junior A championship success with victory over Douglas last week for Emer and Dara, who's in a corner forward. Of course, as Aoife was making the point earlier, a lot of these girls as well have been working so hard with their club teams over the last couple of weeks across the various grades. Martine O'Brien, of course, the goalkeeper for Clonakilty, they had intermediate success last week, so this will be her last game for West Cork for the foreseeable future anyway.
Yeah, definitely, and I suppose look, West Cork, that's probably weighing a lot on them as well. I suppose this is their chance really. They really need to get over the line a small little bit with Mourneabbey, losing the Clonakilty girls next year when they go up senior.
Short kick and well targeted in towards the corner forward to Dara Kiley, sister to sister. It's back out with Rachel Murphy. Murphy off the left, spots a player inside, and the shot though, trailing wide. Lisa Hart O'Donovan, that's her second wide of the afternoon, the girl from O'Donovan Rossa. Let's see now where Maeve O'Sullivan is going to deliver this kick. Interesting just to see how many players have flooded into the...
yeah, and that's good pressure, no, to be fair. It's very good pressure.
Yeah, and looks to have come their way because Emer Kiley's after collecting it as it bounced perfectly into her. Good play by Kiley. Gone route one in towards her wing forward down there, but chasing after it is Libby Coppinger. Still Libby Coppinger. A shot from Libby into the roof of the net. Ball. And suddenly... it's down to a 2-point game.
Yeah, and I suppose, look, West Cork have started to come a little bit more into this game, have got to grips a small little bit, and like Mourneabbey in the first couple of minutes, tested the water, drops the ball in, and definitely showed that there's a little bit more space there in that full back line than we initially thought, and a fantastic finish by Libby straight to the roof of the net.
And forcing the goalkeeper there, Aoife, Maeve, just even there, she had about 30 seconds, and eventually she had to look as far as Ciara O'Sullivan to offload to.
The pressure, you need to be putting Mourneabbey under pressure everywhere, really, and I think the West Cork forwards are certainly good enough to cause damage, but again, they've left a one-on-one here now, which is very dangerous.
And it's Bríd O'Sullivan that's on the ball. She's got a player inside her, and it's right across and punched into the back of the neck by Darren O'Sullivan. Two O'Sullivans combining. They're not sisters, but telepathic communication there, and I'll tell you what a way to answer a goal at the other end of the field.
That's it, and this is, I suppose, what Mourneabbey are just so lethal at, and you just cannot give them that space. You definitely can leave yourself isolated inside in that full forward line, and they are masters at doing it, and quick ball in, and that's your result.
Yeah, and that was all again thanks to Ciara O'Sullivan's run back, collecting the kick from Maeve O'Sullivan. Yeah. I'd say she's a hand, Aoife, in every score.
Ciara, she has, yeah. But if you look at them collectively, or individually, the Mourneabbey forwards are physically bigger than their girls, bar Sarah Hayes, and they will brush past them without that extra bit of protection. I'm actually surprised to see Melissa Duggan playing on the wing. It kind of isolates her a little bit from the action. But when you look inside, several times there before they got the goal, there was one-on-one inside there, and that's a recipe for disaster when you have players of that calibre.
No, great play there by Emer Kiley. Had taken the free originally. Play coming back into her, and she's pushing down, and it looks to be Aoife Walsh that's after fouling her there, so it's going to be a free in and a chance for the first point for West Cork. They've had that goal already, and it looks to be Anya Terry O'Sullivan, the captain, the star from Barrow, who's gone with it. She's opted to go back to Rachel Murphy. Her centre forward has a runner inside her, and the pass just didn't come off to Eve Murphy. Gone to ground. But push in the back, it looked there from Anya O'Sullivan. Ref waves play on, and Anya's getting the shot across. There's a foot race out for it, but it's gone out over the end line.
Yeah, and I suppose Mourneabbey are not giving the same space to Fiona Keating. I suppose she did a lot of damage in the semi-final. She hasn't, I'd say she's got maybe 2 balls already there now in the first section here of the first half. But Mourneabbey, just I suppose definitely more physical team all over the field, and I suppose West Cork really have to try to run at them to draw the free. That's what they're trying to do, I suppose, at the moment.
Yeah, goalkeeper attempting a quick kick out, but the referee calling it back. Referee this afternoon is Justin Murphy calling it back. There's a player down on the ground. I'm not sure. It could possibly be Emer Kiley, and that would be a huge blow to West Cork, given how much she's shone in the opening few minutes of this game. I can see Eve Murphy, her midfield colleague there, but I can't see her, so I'm wondering, is that her that's down on the ground? Yeah, confirmation, it is Emer that is receiving treatment there.
Already it looks like a shootout, a forward shootout, and if it comes down to that, I do think Mourneabbey will probably get more goals. I suppose West Cork will be reasonably happy with their start in terms of what they're creating. They've had one goal, could have had another, and have had a couple of wides, but they do need to stem the flow back here.
Yeah, and again, it'll be interesting to see that pressure being applied, as we see yet again, forcing the goalkeeper to go wide, and the ball has gone out over the sideline. And the key thing now for West Cork is, can they manufacture a score out of this possession?
Yeah, and I suppose patience is going to be key here. If it's not on, if they're not getting in, like we said, there is a lot of physicality there in that Mourneabbey side. Patience, work your score. You're not going to get the same openness that you got in the semi-final.
Good play there. It was Melissa Duggan that's on the ball. Still Melissa being harried and pulled back. Referee blows the whistle. Did it come a second or two too early?
A bit prematurely.
Definitely should have played advantage there. The ball was gone.
It's a fantastic run from Melissa Duggan, to be fair. She split them up.
Yeah. And that's what she can do.
When West Cork run at them, they're causing trouble.
You're watching the Irish Examiner live streaming of the Cork Ladies Senior Football Championship Final. We're live and exclusive here in Cork IT in Bishopstown. Beautiful afternoon for football. That's Anya O'Sullivan who's standing over it, and that's Anya O'Sullivan who's kicking the point as well, and is pushing it out to 1 goal and 1 point to West Cork. Mourneabbey 2 goals and 2 points, so double scores. And again, that pressure, and it's Fiona Keating who's after winning the ball there, back to her midfielder, to Eve Murphy, who's opted to go right across, and that was a loose pass, and Mourneabbey just pouncing on Melissa Duggan. Did ever so well though to win back possession. Libby Coppinger back to Melissa Duggan. This is a speedster here. Shot coming up from the full forward. Great save yet again by the goalkeeper. Coppinger getting the shot off.
To be fair,
and Maeve O'Sullivan for the second time in this opening quarter coming to her side's rescue. But you would have expected the forward to have done better from that range.
Yeah, definitely. Like, she needed to keep it low, and I suppose pick a corner. Definitely hit it straight. But fair play to Maeve. She stood up and kept it out. A let off definitely from Mourneabbey here.
So we've seen 2 goals at one side of the pitch and 2 stunning saves at the other side of the pitch.
It's a little bit of a carbon copy of the game in the league section, to be honest. West Cork missed an awful lot of goal chances that evening as well. They may live to regret that as the game goes on.
Dara Kiley,
but they're certainly causing him a lot of trouble.
A little word from the referee for a bit of a pull back there. It's Aisling O'Sullivan down here riding through the tackles. That is wonderful defensive play by West Cork, and they're applauding themselves there. And a bit of dissent there by the cornerback, throwing the ball back about 10 yards, and the referee says, well, I know the perfect answer for that, and brings the free forward 10 yards.
Yeah, West Cork are frustrating Mourneabbey now a small little bit there, and I suppose Mourneabbey definitely need to keep cool a small bit here, because again, Libby on the ball here, they're making darting runs the whole time.
Eve Murphy was the midfielder that came onto it, back to Fiona Keating, through the hands. It's Dara Kiley. Kiley's opting to go right across to Anya O'Sullivan, who's offloaded yet again to Emma Spillane. Back now with Dara Kiley. And Kiley from distance. Has it got the accuracy? No, it hasn't. It's trailed off, and some of her inside forward colleagues not exactly too happy with that one.
No, and I think some of their shooting, when you're shooting from that distance, at that angle, the percentages are fairly low, so they need to be a little bit more patient and work it round. That's the second one I've kicked wide on that side.
Ciara Sullivan yet again coming all the way back. Emma Spillane tracking her, and we've seen the type of damage that she's done time and time again, setting up scores. Going back to Maura O'Callaghan, but West Cork pressure is paying off. You have to credit them, considering the concession of a goal inside the opening minute. They've recovered so well. Eve Murphy, long rangy midfielder, huge stride. looking for an option inside her, but all she can see is white jerseys opted to go back and they've lost possession.
They need to be careful turning over the ball because Mourneabbey are very dangerous on the break.
Breed O'Sullivan has come a long way from her corner forward posting. She's been tracked back there by Siobhan Courtney from Castlehaven. Still Breed being held up there, opting to go right across the field, and has assistance there from Niamh O'Sullivan. And there will look to be a little trip there inside there as Ellie Jack was looking for it, but West Cork happily taking the reprieve, and it's Rachel Murphy in front of us. Her sister, of course, is at midfield wearing number 8, but the delivery on this occasion a poor one as it runs out over the sideline in front of the West Cork bench.
Yeah, look, West Cork, I suppose, definitely need to hold on to primary possession. That last attack there, they definitely could have recycled it, made a bit more of it, and then just kicking a ball there over the sideline unnecessarily. Possession is going to be absolutely vital in this game, and they have to hold on to it if they're really going to withstand Mourneabbey.
Great ball from Breed to pick out Ellie Jack. She's going through the hands, and it's in with the wing forward there, the full forward, excuse me, and that's Darren O'Sullivan, and has driven it wide. Looked to be on target there for a second, but great pressure again by West Cork. Sarah Hayes is the full back, and that's her out to Siobhan Courtney from Castlehaven. She's just coming up on midfield. Nice to see your cornerback displaying some skills like that. Melissa Duggan has really caught the eye this afternoon.
She's storming into the game.
She's got some motor on her. Great little ball jinked into the corner in towards Dara Kiley from Valley Rovers. Melissa continuing the run, looking for the return. Dara, though, is going on her own and opting to go right across the field out as far as Lisa Hart O'Donovan onto her left, and the shot from Lisa Hart has gone over the bar. I think third time lucky for the girl from O'Donovan Rossa.
Yeah, when West Cork move the ball quickly, they're very, very, they're causing an awful lot of trouble. But they're in possession at times. They're panicking. They need to settle it down a bit. But again, I think that's to do with, Mourneabbey more experience. They're way more efficient with their use of possession.
And I think Melissa's definitely meriting her position there on the wing. She's creating many chances, and Niamh O'Sullivan is probably under a little bit of pressure. Tracking back. It's not a nice position for a wing forward when you think you're going to be dictating the game, and a wing back is bursting forward all the time.
Would there be an argument, Aoife, to swap Melissa over to Ciara O'Sullivan, given the impact that Ciara has had?
Well, in terms of marking, yes, but Melissa's causing a lot of trouble going forward. So as it stands, I think I'd certainly be more in favour of playing her more central a little bit, but she's causing havoc when she goes forward. So
it's another wing back there, and that was Anna Ryan that was on the ball a few moments ago.
But they need to double up on Ciara. She's very, very strong.
And it's the aforementioned Ciara O'Sullivan who's there about 21 yards line out, but running into a purple and yellow wall. That's tenacious defending there. She opts to go back to Breed O'Sullivan, and Breed from distance. Has she judged it? No, she hasn't. Looked to have had judged the wind, and as Evie pointed out, it's quite strong. I don't know if the camera's picking up the white flag there behind the goalkeeper Martina O'Brien. I'll just show you the strength of the wind here into that goal.
Yeah, and that's 2 wides now in a row, I suppose, for Mourneabbey. They won't be happy with that, but credit to West Cork, I suppose, the pressure that they're putting on them definitely, in the last second there for the shots. Great
defence there, so calm under pressure, passing their way out of trouble, and a great first time ball out as far as the centre forward Rachel Murphy going back to her cornerback, but she's going to take the return here, and let's see how things are opening up in front of her. She's got Emer Kiley to her left if she opts to go for her. Kiley's in a good possession. She still goes, look to foul the ball for a second there. Referee says play on. Here's Emer Kiley now trying to be held up, but still it's Kiley. Emer Kiley from Valley Rovers getting the shot and into the bottom corner out of nothing. Emer Kiley 30 yards and slotted it into the bottom corner past Maeve O'Sullivan, who's eventually been beaten.
In fairness to West Cork, they've responded very well to the concession of the early goal. That could have knocked their confidence, but it hasn't really. It spurred them on, and I think they've been the dominant team, to be quite honest about it. They've had most of the possession, had most of the chances, and they're in a very, very strong position now. It's just if they can keep that level of intensity going, and when they're running, as I say, when they're running at the Mourneabbey defence, they certainly seem to have the legs on them, and it's causing Mourneabbey untold amount of trouble.
Beforehand about the water break and timings and everything like that. What a time to put the ball into the back of the net.
What a time, and I suppose Mourneabbey couldn't have come at a better time for them as well to try to regroup a small little bit. A fantastic run there as well by Rachel Murphy, has to be credited. She came out from a centre forward role, picked up a brilliant ball here just inside the 65. And the ball was, I suppose, because she did that, she drew Catherine Coakley out of a pivotal role, and the ball was worked very well down the wing here, and like Dara Kiley taking on 3 players, not a bother to her, and slotting it low and hard. And I think low and hard there is probably the only way to beat Maeve, really. She's an excellent shot stopper if you hit it at mid-height.
Psychologically, to have conceded a goal within 60 seconds and to come back, as you said, Aoife, I know the game is level 2-2 apiece, but it must feel like a win so far for Brian McCarthy down there.
Well, I think they look to be very, very hungry, and they actually look like they're playing like a club side, and that's very, very important. They're tackling back, they're playing for one another, they're running off the ball for one another. But Mourneabbey have that experience, and they won't panic. It's a level game, so I do think this is a situation that West Cork would want to have themselves in terms of being in the game, as I say, after 20 minutes or whatever. So it's all to play for now, but it is actually a very open game, to be fair, more so than I thought it would be.
It is, yeah. And like, I suppose, look, when you look at it, we haven't seen Mourneabbey at full tilt yet. We haven't seen Breed Sullivan, we haven't seen Laura Fitz on the ball, a massive amount. And when they get on the ball, they're capable of doing so much damage. So,
but I think huge credit has to be given to the West Cork attack, who are
Putting
stopping the ball at source.
Yeah, and that's it. And you're cutting, I suppose, the percentages when the ball comes out. The ball that's going into the Mourneabbey forwards then is, a harder ball to win. But look, we're seeing overlap upon overlap here. Like we said, that water break could have proved dividends for Mourneabbey.
Indeed, perfect timing for one of the teams anyway, but as we've seen in these games across the codes, that water break now is such an important part of matches. Huge shot from distance.
Again, that's
there,
good pressure on you, Terry. Walk back.
Off wide. Is that three wides in a row?
That's 3 wides in a row, yeah. But they've been put under a fair bit of pressure, to be fair.
And as we can see in the background, the wind seems to be kind of picking up and blowing quite hard there. Good ball out by the goalkeeper, and good play by the cornerback Siobhan Courtney to hold her nerve there, despite the onrushing intentions of half the Mourneabbey attack, it seemed there. Coming out with it is Claire O'Shea, the centre back from Beara, offloading there to Eve Murphy. Loses possession and went in there with the boot, and a few harsh words from her opposite number as well, and I'm sure some harsh words as well too from the referee on that one.
Yeah, just that bit of inexperience, I think, as well there, just from Eve. She's a young player. I think she was only out of minor there in the last year or two. You can't go soloing into Mourneabbey defence, definitely.
Right off there for Mourneabbey. Tenacious play by the two sides in these opening 15 minutes or so here at CIT. That's great play by Libby Coppinger, the full forward, dispossessing.
There's no one inside.
There's no one inside, exactly. It was just 3 Mourneabbey players, but I think that just shows how far West Cork are coming out to try and stop the ball here on the midfield section. But Mourneabbey coming here with Aisling O'Sullivan. Good ball in towards Ellie Jack from her. Ellie being onto her left, and that's a shot, and that is a point for Mourneabbey, and how badly wanted that was.
Yeah, and like while West Cork are working extremely hard out around the middle, you don't want all that work to be for absolutely nothing. You have to keep 1-2 key forwards inside. You have to have an option inside.
Siobhan Courtney going out as far as Emma Spillane takes a very heavy tackle there across the shoulder blades from, it looked to be Darren O'Sullivan, and referee coming over to Darren and explaining that that is a free, and that's a name into the book as well too.
I think
a silly kind of free to concede.
I think it was kind of a wraparound tackle.
Emma's a small enough player though.
She is.
the advantage will always lie with the smaller player, maybe.
You say that like someone that's been caught by referees.
I may or may not have been.
Great ball in towards Dara Kiley, the goal scorer from Valley Rovers. She's bouncing through with 2 tackles there still, Dara, but having to find some reinforcements. Going across to Lisa Hart. It's gone all the way back to Emer Kiley. Emer on to the left, nice little ball indoors. Libby
they need to be more
so well, it
patient in
seemed,
those
to catch it
situations.
with one hand, but managed to retain possession. Well done to her. A lovely little jink pass there to Anya O'Sullivan, and Anya Terry O'Sullivan from distance though has driven that one well wide.
They're a little bit over anxious at times that they're shooting.
You're watching the Irish Examiner live stream coverage of this Cork Ladies Senior Football Championship final between Mourneabbey, chasing 7 titles in a row. Hard to believe, 7 consecutive titles in a row against West Cork, and it's 2 points, 2 goals and 2 points to West Cork, 2-3 to Mourneabbey, and it's a free end to Mourneabbey there on that far side of the field.
Yeah, a bit of hand holding there, I think, from Christine O'Sullivan.
Roisin O'Sullivan is coming up, or was coming up to take it, but she's received the instruction to put it down. Is it Darren that's going to come out and take this one? That's probably one of the first times we've actually seen the West Cork defence concede a free.
Concede a free, yeah, exactly. I suppose Mourneabbey are playing a lot freer, a lot more open style of play, not getting caught in the tackle too often.
Great
It's a
kick.
good score.
Yeah.
Great kick indeed by Darren O'Sullivan, and popping that one over the.
Yeah, and I think Mourneabbey needed that as well. You know, suppose they just need to get the shooting boots back on track now again.
Good kick out yet again by the goalkeeper, out as far as Siobhan Courtney. She seems to be the go-to woman for Martina O'Brien from those kick-outs. Great running there by Dara Kiley. She's got Melissa Duggan tearing off in front of her, but Dara is happy to go off herself, but she's going more across the field than heading goalwards. First time ball though is going in right on top of the full forward Libby Coppinger. Great turn by Coppinger to keep that ball in. Lovely solo, dinking one way, dinking another, getting the shot off and hitting it over the crossbar. She's a live wire, isn't she?
She is, yeah.
If they can get the ball in early enough to Libby, she's causing fierce trouble inside there.
And
she looks very sharp.
The two Kileys are being extremely industrious as well.
Their work rate is phenomenal.
The work rate is brilliant. Yeah, they're really, really giving an option every single time.
Well ahead.
Huge audience, I'm told, joining us on the ladies football Facebook page as well too this afternoon. So welcome to one and all to our Irish Examiner live stream coverage. You're watching a gripper here in CIT. Our thanks to Jackie Cahill, who's the media maestro with ladies football, for setting that up. And of course you're watching as well too on the Irish Examiner website as well. Welcome one and all. Thank you so much for your company, and it's a wonderful spectacle of ladies football here this afternoon. You're watching Anya Terry O'Sullivan, the captain of West Cork, kicking that one over and putting it back to a draw game. Yeah,
West Cork very, very lucky there, to be honest, with the free. Oh, and another free being turned around here.
Yeah.
Not sure what the indiscretion was there.
I think West Cork's pressure has been absolutely fantastic. On their kick-outs, on Mourneabbey's kick-outs, and as well as that, all around the pitch, they're really putting the girls under a lot of pressure and turning over ball and that.
And I must say the referee well on top of things there anyway. And
yeah, he was very certain anyway. And look, if Terry puts this over now, 2 in a row straight away for West Cork.
And there it is. And by my maths, that's the first time West Cork have led in the game.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Huge pressure again. And again, it's a mark of that pressure. Then it's Ciara O'Sullivan who's the one that's coming back to help her defence. It'll be interesting to see what the ploy is there going forward. Nice little touch by Ellie Jack to keep the ball in play, and Mourneabbey reaping rewards as they come down that left wing. Great interchange there. Screaming for it there is the on-running midfielder Maura O'Callaghan, and she's held up and pulled to the ground there by Claire O'Shea, and that is undoubtedly a free, and that undoubtedly is going to be territory for Darren O'Sullivan. Yeah, massive tracking back from West Cork, in fairness. I think Anya Terry Sullivan was back there, Dara Kiley, massive tracking back, in fairness to them. And look, I suppose they'll be happy to give away a free as opposed to, creating an overlap and maybe another goal chance. Yeah, and West Cork are using a sweeper now too, and Mourneabbey aren't creating any goal chances really, so that shot gone wide. Yeah. That wind must obviously be proving very, very difficult to kick into. It looks very strong. Yeah, so look, it must be a bit swirling, because in fairness to Mourneabbey, they don't miss too many. Looked to be a poor kick out there, as Bríd O'Sullivan for a second was almost gifted the ball, but great play by the defender to get back on. She got away with 2 hops. Screams from some of the fans that are here as 2 West Cork players are on the ground. And even though we have our social distancing and everything like that, there's a lack of it there for a few moments. There's a fairly vocal small crowd. It's look, West Cork, I suppose, we're definitely a bit lucky there to come out. I think she hopped it twice, did she? I'm not sure about that, but there was deadly pressure being put on, in fairness, by the Mourneabbey forwards, so very, very lucky, to be honest, for West Cork to be able to have a chance to bring that ball out. Yeah, you mentioned there, Aoife, a sweeper coming back. Is that kind of to try and stop that Ciara O'Sullivan access?
Actually, she's positioning herself on the D there, around the D. Well, it means that they don't create the overlap. Even if Ciara breaks, they have an extra body back there. So Mourneabbey haven't created a goal chance since the second goal.
I must say, this is my first time seeing Melissa Duggan in the flesh, and she is some operator.
She's a great player.
She's up and down, up and down, up and down. Rachel Murphy has impressed as well, as has this lady, Dara Kiley. That's her on the ball there, scored the goal a few moments ago. Her sister Emer is at midfield. And always
they look very confident, West Cork, to be fair. You know, they're playing with a lot of confidence.
And as
spreading the ball around.
Yeah, and playing almost, as you said, like a club team.
Yeah.
Oh, heavy hit there to Maura. There was nothing malicious in it, to be quite honest. She kind of ran into the shoulder. The ball had been won there, and Rachel Murphy is holding on to it. And Maria had committed herself full stop and ran into the shoulder. But I don't think that
was anywhere malicious.
There was anything.
No, it wasn't. But I don't think West Cork did themselves any favours there. They completely slowed down their momentum. Instead of breaking tackles like they were doing there, even just a couple of moments previously, completely slowed down, drew Mourneabbey on them, and created massive pressure that they didn't need to create. So turnover here now for Mourneabbey, where West Cork shouldn't really have been giving away that possession.
Okay, match referee, I think, was happy to say that it was an accidental clash. Well helped.
They're holding on to possession, so are they?
Well helped by his sideline officials there. That's unbelievable, is the chant from someone down here. And I don't think that they're a West Cork fan.
Don't think so.
Anyway, the end result is Rachel Murphy from Bantry Blues is holding on to the ball. And it's
Maura's a tough girl and she doesn't stay down.
Maura Callan,
so she's obviously
who's a first cousin of the O'Sullivans, the O'Sullivan sisters. Yes. Maura still receiving treatment down there.
Her father Timmy actually was a selector with us many moons ago as well with Cork Seniors. So they're definitely steeped in football down there.
Yeah, and
actually we haven't noticed the referee, which I think is a good sign. To be honest, this is the first time we've heard any bit of vocal stuff in relation to the ref, so it's been a very good game, to be fair. I think it played in the right spirit. It's been tough, but
and I'm sure a lot of people, lads, are tuning into ladies football today, a live stream like this maybe for the first time. It's one thing watching the county game, but watching the club game, and I'd say that they must be hugely impressed.
Yeah, it's a very high standard.
Maria O'Callaghan is in distress, and she's going off there in front of us, holding her mouth and her kind of
her neck area.
She'll be alright.
Yeah, and to be honest, Maura would be tough out. Like Evie said, she wouldn't go down too easily, to be honest. So she definitely must be hurt.
Anyway, in result is it's still a free to West Cork. Rachel Murphy from Bantry Blues is right on the halfway line, waiting for the substitute to come in for Mourneabbey. We'll have a sight as to who that is in a few moments' time. She's gone back, and after all of that, Mourneabbey have lost possession, and some words there coming in from Emma Coakley as well too.
Well, I think that was inexperience again there. That ball should have been driven up the field if there was nothing else on.
Catherine Coakley, and it's gone out over the sideline. And it's the linesman down here now has changed his mind. It looked to be a Mourneabbey and had waved to be a Mourneabbey ball, but decision has been changed and it's gone back.
I think that was a Mourneabbey ball, certainly. But
it's gone back to West Cork, and it's gone back to Eve Murphy.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought it was a West Cork ball, but there seems to be a lot of Mourneabbey stewards here that disagree with us.
Yeah, there's a number of fans who've managed to get into the ground here anyway this evening.
In fairness to Mourneabbey, they've upped to the level in terms of their intensity.
Yeah, and the end result there is a free there to Roisin O'Sullivan, who's pushing it out. And to be honest, I get the impression you don't want to get yourself into a dogfight with Mourneabbey.
Definitely not. And look, Mourneabbey, like they would love that type of scrap, and to be fair to them, they will always dig it out if you do get into that type of scrap with them. I suppose, look, there's plenty good temperaments there in that Mourneabbey team, and they would love a fight.
They would love a fight indeed. Ciara O'Sullivan, so important for them for so often this afternoon. That's her there on the ball down on the 21-yard line, being held up, and two tackles. I think it was a combination of Ciara O'Sullivan And
I think the referee as well just trying to gain a small bit more control over the game in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, he's certainly
it was just a bit scrappy there in the last few minutes.
Yeah,
as well as that, I think the Mourneabbey stewards, as we call them, are trying to generate that little bit of atmosphere there. You know, they thrive on that. And
yes, indeed. And the end result, anyway, that shot off the left there from Ciara O'Sullivan, which has been warmly applauded by the Mourneabbey contingent here this afternoon. But I think, Breach, you're right. The referee is trying to kind of step in now, things slipping away slightly in the last few minutes of what has been an incredible game here.
And it hasn't been a malicious game by any stretch of the imagination. So I just think.
Yeah, and as we said from the very start, what started it all was a completely accidental collision.
Mourneabbey are putting an awful lot more pressure on now than they were earlier on.
To her
and it's paying dividends in terms of their scoring.
It's gone over the bar. That's 2 in a row there, and it's pushing Mourneabbey into the lead.
Yeah, and look, even at the line, there's only 3 Mourneabbey forwards here. 3 Mourneabbey backs inside, their own 65. Everyone else had pushed up the field. Mourneabbey just went to put that pressure on and just are chipping away on these points. Now look here though, we've Melissa Duggan tearing up the field yet again.
Look at that, she's got Dara Kiley inside her, back to Melissa Duggan. A bit of a stretch there for her. She's got Libby Coppinger on the end of it. Coppinger rolls it in off the left. What an incredible goal. Melissa Duggan made, I'd say, 60 yards, played a 1-2 with Dara Kiley and Libby Coppinger, and the angle was getting tighter and tighter, and somehow she rolled it in off the left into the bottom corner.
But again, Melissa's run was phenomenal. They just couldn't stay with her. I think a lot of Mourneabbey scores are coming from turnovers from West Cork, if they can cut those out.
Looks to be Aisling Cronin, by the way, as the substitute that's in there for Marie O'Callaghan. We'll check on her well-being there on a while. She's still receiving treatment down here in front of us. Whether that is her for the day, we will see. Back here with Mourneabbey, ball gone in there towards Ellie Jack. She's forced to go back there towards, looks to be Ciara O'Sullivan that's in it. The shot though coming off the left and falling back, and that's a fine score there for Mourneabbey, and badly needed.
Yeah, badly needed. And look, that came from I can't really see now. I think it was Doireann, or was it Ciara?
Ciara, yeah.
That held the ball, kept holding it up until that run came through, and that's the difference. I suppose they just have that no panic attitude, held up the ball, and then finished where I suppose finishing the half they needed to finish a bit stronger there, and took their point respectfully there.
What an incredible first half of football we've had here in Cork IT. You're watching, and we're delighted to be bringing you the Irish Examiner live stream coverage of this Cork Ladies Senior Football Championship final. One of 4 games, would you believe, the Irish Examiner are broadcasting this weekend. A little later tonight, we're down to the Co-op Superstores Premier Senior Hurling Championship. What a game in store there. Quarter-final between SARS and Erin's Own, and then the other 2 semi-finals tomorrow afternoon. I'm on duty for the clash of Blackrock and Douglas, and then Des is on duty tomorrow night for Napirsig and UCC. But back to this action, back to the ladies' football. Well, I mentioned beforehand, was it going to be a shootout between respective attacks? I think you could say we've got that and more.
We have, and I think West Cork have had far more chances than Mourneabbey have in terms of goal chances. Like the running through, Melissa's causing havoc when she runs through the middle, and Libby inside. I think they're key to the whole situation. Libby showing brilliantly for the ball, and when she gets, she's taking them on. Actually, Dara Kiley as well inside. Her movement is fantastic. She's not just playing right corner forward; she's everywhere. So, can they sustain it? Is the thing now. There's one thing when you get to the level of, geez, we could win this thing. Oftentimes there's a little bit of anxiety sets in. So, I mean, it's set up for West Cork. They're playing with a win now. They're 2 points up. Is it a point up? So everything is set up for them, but it's just driving on now and making sure that you're playing the game rather than the occasion, which I think is the most important thing for them.
Yeah, and I suppose they're going into the second half now as well with a win behind them. But we saw in the first half that it wasn't a massive benefit to Mourneabbey, but West Cork will take, I suppose, huge dividends with that going into the second half, that they have the win behind them. They have probably finished the stronger in that second quarter. They're causing the full back line untold trouble, but maybe they've shown their hand a small little bit. That's, I suppose, what you could take from this. I can imagine that there will be a change on Melissa. She's creating the world of space in that wing forward position. You can imagine that there'll be someone tasked with maybe picking her up and running with her and trying to stop that overlap as much as possible.
Okay, well, after 30 seconds, the ball in the back of the net, were you thinking curtains again?
Well, I was, and particularly the next 5 minutes, they had a couple of more chances, and you're thinking, geez, if they get another one or two, it'll be West Cork will be chasing the game again. But to be fair, they really, put pressure on, and they didn't panic, which I thought was they went back up the field. I think they were going a point down, got a few scores, and put an awful lot of pressure on the Mourneabbey kick out, which is vital. But I think the second half, the last quarter of this game, it could come down to hunger, and I sense a bit that West Cork seem to have an awful lot of hunger about them. Mourneabbey have won a lot, have a lot of legs in the clock. Do they want it as much? They probably do, in terms of I do want it, but it's very, very difficult to keep churning it out year after year after year after year. So there's an opportunity there now for West Cork. As I said, they're still in the game. They came back very, very well. They've been playing against the wind. But it's going to be doubly difficult now, I think, for them to psychologically get themselves over the line, because Mourneabbey will dig in. They have ferocious pride in themselves. They have great character in the team. So it's going to be an intriguing contest in the second half.
Okay, as we pointed out, that full forward line though for Mourneabbey is so dangerous, but hasn't seen enough of the ball.
No, definitely not. And I suppose, Laura Fitz scored 5-3 or something in their last game. Hasn't gotten a massive amount of ball in, being starved of it, I suppose, really, inside that full forward line. The ball, they're choosing to nearly run the ball as opposed to launch it in, which they attempted a couple at the start, but we haven't seen anything of the sort since. And I suppose you have to look at West Cork as well. They're working their socks off. Their tracking back has been immense. Anya Terry, Dara Kiley, Emer Kiley, the amount of tracking back that they're doing is immense, but I do think they have to play to their strengths. There's a small bit of naivety in the West Cork team carrying balls into tackle. You cannot carry ball into tackle against Mourneabbey. They have to play to their strengths. Their fast, open game. That's what creates their goal chances. And you definitely, like we said, don't want to get into a shootout. Don't want to get in a dogfight with Mourneabbey, because they thrive on that. And definitely if that does come down to it, you could see Mourneabbey chipping away and grinding them down.
And of course, this little bit of a melee is probably the wrong word, but that little incident there with Marie going off, I'm sure that's the type of thing as well that'll be used.
And I think it's very important. I don't know whether she'll be able to return or not, but she's going to be a massive loss. Mourneabbey don't have the biggest panel. They've lost a few girls from last year, and trying to replace a girl of the quality of Mara is going to be very, very difficult. And particularly now against the wind, she's very good carrier of the ball. She's very good at winning her own kick-outs and that. So she'll be a massive loss if she doesn't return. So it'll be an interesting second half. It's going to be experience now, determination against that exuberance of youth and not winning it before, and it'll be fascinating to see how things turn out.
Brian McCarthy down there in his team speech, what's he saying now?
I can imagine that he is saying that, look how good our full forward line are doing, that we need to supply them with ball. We need to, I suppose, stop carrying ball into tackle. That would be my big thing around the middle of the field. You cannot give away primary possession when you have it. But look, they're doing very, very well. If you look back a short year, and they were not in that position last year, so they're doing very, very well. And it's about, I suppose, holding the head, not panicking, doing the right thing, making good choices, and I suppose with the win now, isolating that full forward line, and making sure that you're supplying good ball in.
And let's go across the field then, Aoife, to Shane Ronane's speech over on the far side.
I don't think Shane will be happy with their first half performance. I mean, outside Ciara, you would look at their big players and you'd say they've been relatively quiet. So I would think that he'll be geeing them up and saying they're champions. They've won it for the last 5 years. We can do it again. I think there's more in Mourneabbey. I think there's more in Mourneabbey in terms of their doggedness and their determination, and they can up it again, and they can always get goals, which is the beauty of their team. So no matter where, you're never safe with Mourneabbey because of the quality they have up front. So Duran could kick into gear and get a couple of goals. You've Laura Fitz, who's a very good goal scorer, and as well as that, then you have what else have we got up there? We have. Yeah, and a multitude. Breed Sullivan, who has actually been quiet enough herself. But they are good ball carriers, and against the wind, that may suit Mourneabbey a little bit more. The ball will hold up a bit more, but you'll find now, I think that Mourneabbey will be carrying the ball a little bit more in the second half. Yeah,
and just that cuteness, holding on to ball, giving the right pass. That's what Mourneabbey do all the time. And I suppose you would fear that if it came into the melting pot, that maybe West Cork might not have that composure. I could be wrong, but I know that Mourneabbey have that composure. So you just definitely don't want to get into a dogfight towards the end.
Okay, just want to mention as well that there will be no extra time today, that there will be a replay if that is the case. And of course there is the other issue as well too, that
no penalties or nothing
no
like that,
penalties, no drama or anything like that. There is a club championship. We were chatting about this afterwards. There is a Munster Club Championship, so Mourneabbey, regardless of the result, will continue into that.
But I think it would be very flat if they don't win today, trying to go into
as we've seen the likes of the Glen and all of that.
Yeah,
been beaten by McKillie.
You need to go in as champions, really. I think now, obviously, you'll go and you'll give your best, but you know you're on such a downer after losing the county. It's very, very difficult to rise yourself again for that kind of a competition, and that's in October as well, and then we have the inter-county season if it happens coming up as well, so it's very, very difficult. It's actually going to be very difficult on the girls going forward, I think, in terms of coming into the winter, but it's nice today, but in a month's time, what way will it be?
Very, very different. Well, we'll be chatting about that anyway at full time. If you will be picking your brains as to what the plan and the ploy is for the weeks ahead. Hard to believe as well, if all was right, tomorrow would have been the All-Ireland football final.
Yeah, that's it.
Incredible, isn't it?
Anyway, strange times in which we live, but at least we're still here watching and enjoying Gaelic games, and I must say I've thoroughly enjoyed the last half an hour of action here in CIT. It is the Cork Ladies Senior Football Championship final, and it's West Cork who lead 3 goals and 5 points, Mourneabbey 2 goals and 7. What a game of football we've witnessed. What a second half is in store. It's Melissa Duggan, who is just trying to burrow out there, takes a knock and loses possession.
Strange
and
decision.
Ball going back to Roisin O'Sullivan.
I thought she was very unlucky there, to be honest. I thought she did
fouled.
very, very well bringing up ball. Definitely took a knock there as well.
Yeah, I was holding on to her face there.
Yeah.
Darren O'Sullivan there, going back to Ciara O'Sullivan. Ciara trying to work it onto the left, being held up by 2 players, forced to go back. And
to be fair to West Cork, they are set up well there now defensively. It's going to be difficult to break that down.
Breed O'Sullivan trying to build up a head of steam, but she's gone back to Darren. Some go Melissa clinging off her, knocking the ball, and that's wonderful
that's
play
great
there. The full back
defending,
coming
to be
out there,
fair.
but she's lost it. Sarah Hayes. It's going through the hands here. Mourneabbey, like a chest.
O'Mara's back on.
Maura O'Callaghan, and Maura
That's a great score.
O'Callaghan has shown no ill effects from that bang that she got just before half time.
Definitely not. She was seeing straight there anyway.
She has.
Not a bother.
Great score.
But
again, they showed patience and didn't panic there.
They did, and I suppose West Cork a bit unlucky there. They did turn over the ball and just maybe just couldn't get it out that far wing.
Sarah Hayes did very well, all right, but as you said, it just ran away from her. Eve Murphy, great kick by her. And here it comes there with Rachel Murphy, her sister. Great play by the corner back there, pushing. That was Aoife Walsh, a nice little shoulder there to push past Dara Kiley.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. You have to play to your advantage when you have the ball. Like that had to be a 70-30 ball, and it had to be played down the right hand side, and it was played in a little bit closer to goal. You have to play to your advantage and give the forward every chance.
Yeah, you'd have to say credit though to the corner back there as well. She did very well to burst through without a nudge in the back or anything like that. It's Ciara O'Sullivan yet again. She's been the conductor of so much good for Mourneabbey in the course of this game. She's got Libby Coppinger putting her under pressure, and Coppinger, I think, was the one that was deemed to have committed the foul. And quick play here with Breed O'Sullivan. She's got a runner on the shoulder. That's the midfielder there, Maura O'Callaghan, who's gone into Darren O'Sullivan, and arm around the neck. That's a free all day and all night long, and it looks like a name in the book there for Sarah Hayes.
Yeah, and look, Mourneabbey moving the ball very fast there. It looked 3-4 passes, not taking too many solos, just letting the ball do the work and getting the ball, I suppose, through their experienced players, and Darren drawing the free.
That's 3 goals and 5 points to West Cork. Mourneabbey 2
They've upped
goals
their
and 8.
intensity levels. Mourneabbey have big time since half time.
Massively. Yeah, this will make it.
And again, Maura was a very good link there.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
I must say the little 10-minute break for Maura has done her the world of good, hasn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
Has.
I'd say no, she's definitely come back with a little bit more aggression in her anyway, and wanting to right any wrongs.
She's certainly doing that. Lisa Hart O'Donovan is there on the sideline, bouncing past the tackle there from Catherine Coakley. Runner out the far side of the field. It looks to be Melissa Duggan, is it? And it's gone back there with Emma Spillane.
Claire O'Shea,
go back. Claire O'Shea, yeah, sorry, the centre back from Beara. Apologies to Claire. Oh, great block there. Super block, but well done. One back by Dara Kiley. Great first time ball in towards Coppinger. Lovely ball into the chest of Coppinger. Oh, and a great dispossession there by the Mourneabbey defence.
I suppose, look, Libby should have definitely backed herself there. She had the step. Maybe she should have taken her point instead of trying to go route one. There was four defenders back from Mourneabbey. You're not going to get a goal chance every time, and I think West Cork needs to start chipping away now as well with a few points.
Breed O'Sullivan did ever so well there to eat up the ground there into Darren O'Sullivan, and a great block by the goalkeeper, and all the way back to the goalkeeper. Great block being applied. And the ball finding its way back to Martina O'Brien, and out come West Cork at speed here again. That's a nice piece of fielding there by their centre forward Rachel Murphy from Bantry Blues, forced to go across field on this occasion, forced to go back indeed. Out to her wing back to Emma Spillane. Looks to be a substitute on there as well too for West Cork. We'll keep an eye on that. Wearing number 17, that's Cleena Maguire from Rosscarbery. With the action here, and back with the centre forward with Rachel Murphy going back to Emma Spillane again.
And again, Mourneabbey are well set up back there now. West Cork are moving the ball as quickly as they were, so they need to change that a little bit and get it in quicker if they can.
Oh, and another heavy shoulder there. Another heavy shoulder. It was the midfielder coming through, Eve Murphy, and slapped right into Aisling O'Sullivan. Again, don't think that she intentionally went for it. It was like O'Sullivan had wrapped herself around her.
Definitely not. And look, it depends sometimes on the referee. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. I think she just stood her ground and was just, momentum took her into the player. But hopefully both players are okay.
Yeah, I think if anything, it's Aisling that took the heavier blow into the chin area. Interesting little aside there that Ellie Jack's mom Shirley is the Mourneabbey team doctor, so they're a close bunch up in Mourneabbey, as we've seen.
I think West Cork need a score now. The longer this goes on with them getting a score, they'll be under more pressure, and Mourneabbey's confidence will build and they'll find it more difficult. So I think the next 5 minutes they certainly need to put something on the board.
You're watching the Irish Examiner live stream coverage of this, the Cork Ladies Senior Football Championship final in Cork IT. I hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching around the world. Also a big hello to our friends watching us on the LGFA Facebook account, and our thanks to Jackie Cahill for setting that up for us. Part of a hectic weekend of live stream coverage here on the Irish Examiner website, with 3 co-op superstores, Cork Premier Senior Hurling Championship quarterfinals on this weekend, right across the weekend. 1 tonight, Oisin Langan is on commentary duty for that, and then 2 tomorrow afternoon, and we hope to have your company for that. It's West Cork 3 goals and 5 points. It's Mourneabbey 2 goals and 9.
It's good tackling from Anya Terry.
West Cork, Anya O'Sullivan, who's coming back to help out defence and get Melissa Duggan on the motorbike on that far side again. Off she goes. Great play though by Catherine Coakley to slow her down, but it would take a big brick wall to slow down this lady, it seems. Dara Kiley scored that fantastic goal in the first half, going all the way back to her sister, to Emer. And she's gone right across to Rachel Murphy on the edge of the exclusion zone. And here they come again with the wing back Emma Spillane. And as Aoife said, how badly they need to get a score out of this, and it's opening up there for the centre forward for Rachel Murphy. It looked to be gone back to Anya O'Sullivan. It's going to hang in the wind there. Goalkeeper tracking it. Libby is under it as well, but it's gone out wide in the end. But as you said, Aoife, the West Cork badly need to get something.
They do,
out.
And they're snatching a little bit at them now. But I think Mourneabbey are putting them under a lot more pressure now as well.
Yeah, definitely Mourneabbey set up a lot better in the backs there. But West Cork definitely slowed down a small little bit, and we saw in the first half the damage that they did when they let the ball in fast and got the ball in fast to Libby. They're not doing it here, but in saying that, then Mourneabbey are better set up at the back.
Yeah, Melissa Duggan yet again just hairing on to it. She has caught the eye so much this afternoon. Lovely little pass out to the corner forward to Fiona Keating. gone to Dara Kiley from distance. Dara Kiley looked to have
45.
liked the sight of that, well, claimed that there had been a touch on it, and the umpire and the referee agreeing, and that is a 45 in that one. By McCarthy, the manager down here, applauding.
They've expended an awful lot of energy in the first half too. They look to be getting a little bit more tired. Both sides, to be fair, but I do think playing against the window suit Mourneabbey a little bit better. They've good strong ball carriers.
Emer Kiley standing over this one. Opts to go short along the ground there, and well taken up there by the full forward Libby Coppinger. Still Libby Coppinger on the 21, and is she judged? And she has judged the win to perfection there.
She has, and Libby using her low centre of gravity to her advantage big time there. She'd no sooner the ball picked up that she was turned and gone, and is definitely a real threat for West Cork, and they need to use her more.
They do, don't they? She's really, actually Fiona here has been very quiet. She goes with jet pace.
Yeah, it did well though to see the runner coming from distance, and that was Rachel Murphy. And Murphy deemed to have fouled the ball on that occasion, and it's a free out.
Again, it's the age, as Bree said earlier, they're running into tackles unnecessarily. They need to move the ball quickly.
This is where the experience that Bree talked about really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, big time. Like you can't give away that primary possession. It's so vital, and it's going to be so hard to get. You have to use it to your advantage.
Okay. Bit of sunlight breaking through the clouds there on the far side here in Cork IT. Well, who will it be shining on though come 20 minutes time?
And West Cork are working so hard like that. Are they expelling a lot of energy when they could be using it better, but they're expelling a lot of energy at the moment.
Yeah, great defending yet again over
This
there
is having
by
an
West
unbelievable
Cork.
game. She's everywhere. But they are, as Bree said, they need to hold on to possession a little bit more. It's very hard to get it back once you lose it.
She may not be the biggest player on the pitch, but I must say her impact today has absolutely been huge.
She wouldn't like to hear you saying that. She thinks she's huge. And again, it's an easy turnover.
On the ball is Ciara O'Sullivan yet again. There's a runner or two inside her. Looked to be Ellie Jack that was screaming for it, but it was Roisin O'Sullivan that got onto the end of it and out the side. And the shot that's coming off, was it Ciara herself that got onto the end of it again?
I think it was Darren actually that kicked.
That was Darren, but they're very economical with their scoring rate.
And what they're doing is they're making sure they're getting their best kickers on the ball at the very end, and that's what you need to do. Keep chipping away at the scores, and that's what Mourneabbey are doing.
Great kick out by the goalkeeper to pick out Eve Murphy, who was forced to work very hard to try and regain possession. Mauro Callan did well to dispossess it. There's going to be a free there. Looked to be a bit harsh on Mourneabbey for their efforts there, being awarded against the corner forward Laura Fitzgerald. Right here in front of us with Rachel Murphy. Back to Emma Spillane again, getting on the ball quite a lot so far. Dara Kiley showing well for that. She's got a runner inside her if she wants to go with Claire O'Shea, but she's going to go herself. Dara Kiley, 30 yards, and a shot from Kiley, and whizzes it over the crossbar. I must say she's lightning quick as well.
She is, and brilliant ball in from Emer there as well. And that's what you need to do. You do not want to get in a scrap, like we said. Quick ball into Dara, took her on the inside, backed herself, and took her point.
3-7 to 2 goals and 6 points. They're like heavyweight champions fighting this one out here, blow for blow. Melissa Duggan again, she's here, there and everywhere. She's gone to ground. Hopefully she'll be okay. It's back with Ellie Jack now, and again some speed by her out as far as Roisin O'Sullivan. Great first time ball in towards Darren O'Sullivan. Darren holding up one or two tackles and shot away. Goalkeeper did well. Looked to be dipping under the crossbar, but the goalkeeper Martine O'Brien perfectly positioned on that one, and the ball finds its way. Great clearance out as far as Melissa Duggan, the star from Donny's, an all-star, a pharmacy student in Dublin. What's she going to concoct in the final few moments here? Dara Kiley, great first time ball towards Libby Coppinger. Coppinger has two players around her. Still Coppinger onto her left. Coppinger with the shot. That's a fantastic score.
And she's playing with massive confidence in this final. I'd say anything she touches will just go over, just massive confidence, and I suppose took on 2 players there, backed herself, and got her
3
score.
goals and 8 points to 2 goals and 16. Melissa trying to knock possession there, but back Mourneabbey come. You can see that
Anya Terry is,
Anya Terry is down there. She's holding her hip after that little collision. That'll be a massive blow for West Cork. Let's follow the action at the far side. Darren overcooked the pass. Oh, did very well there, did Ciara O'Sullivan, to bring it back down again. She's trying to work it on to her right. Flibbles and swivels and gets it over the crossbar. 3 goals and 8, 2 goals and 11. I'm trying to do the math here.
And Ciara's little sidestep, like, you know, she just gives herself that inch every single time. And as well, I think Darren is coming a lot more into the game. She's just getting that step on Sarah Hayes, and I suppose definitely need to tighten up there and not afford Darren any chance to you know, play other people into the ball, especially Ciara.
So 17 points apiece, I think, by my math. Open to correction. Aoife, you look to be way more intellectual than...
A lot of the Mourneabbey scores are coming out from their kick-outs. West Cork have kind of stopped pushing up, and I do think when you're playing with a wind, they have an ideal opportunity. When the ball goes dead, push up and try and win one. If they can turn one over, when Mourneabbey are getting the ball and they're running up the field with, as I said, they're very good ball carriers, and they're getting the ball into Darren side or Ciara, and they're way more economical with their scoring rate. So I think Mourneabbey definitely need to put that little bit more pressure on the kick.
Darren has really come into the game in the last 10 or 15 minutes as well too. She's coming out longer looking for ball as well, isn't she?
Yeah, she is, yeah.
But they're getting more possession as well. So
Terry looks to be up on her feet anyway again, and hopefully she'll continue, because West Cork needs her definitely for the rest of this game. Yeah,
massively important to their cause, of course. Scored 1-5 last time out, and has been a major star for the West Cork project over the years.
I think there's a sub there actually as well on the Mourneabbey side.
We'll keep track of that, as we mentioned. Cleena Maguire.
I think Aisling Cronin is in. I'm not sure who went off.
Aisling Cronin wearing number 18. Cork minor player. Great to have that kind of talent base to be bringing on as well too, isn't it?
Yeah, she's come on there on Rachel Murphy, I suppose, who has been very important in this game.
Libby Coppinger, I was about to say, did ever so well to manage to keep that one in, but the umpire waving it wide was a bit of a hit and hope effort into Libby, wasn't it?
It was, and I suppose Libby wouldn't be the tallest, she'd admit that herself. So
she's having a fantastic game. I mean, Emer Meany is a very, very good man marker, right? She really is troubling out today.
That's a great play there by Rachel Murphy to try and win the free, but there was a chop down tackle, it seems, according to the referee, but she had 2 players against her, but did ever so well just to keep them honest, put them under pressure, and she did just that. Sub as well there, Sandra Conroy is on for Mourneabbey. Not sure who's gone off. We'll try and check that up. Maura O'Callaghan, but poor ball by her, and Emma Spillane gratefully taking it into Dara Kiley. Great piece of fielding by the lady from Valley Rovers. Is she outside of her range, gone right across. Libby Coppinger screaming for it. Lovely pass right into the bread basket there, and Coppinger off her right, and that is a fantastic effort. But has it gone? Yes, it has gone wide. Deserved so much more. Great pass though by Dara to pick her out.
Dara's actually having a fine game as well. She's linking very well with Libby.
And with that, we have
the next water break.
Our water break, and No,
it's in the melting pot.
No, it's in the melting pot.
Yeah, you're dead right. And look, equal or even Stevens now again going into the last quarter, and it's who has more in the tank. You know, I suppose West Cork, a lot of their girls have a lot of football played now at the moment, with a lot of different clubs, and I suppose Mourneabbey haven't played now in 2 weeks, I suppose. And have definitely, you know, built up a head of steam in the last couple of games. So it's about who wants it more, who's ready to really dive on the ball, and I suppose who can, you know, who can really, you know, I suppose maybe deal with the wind better, who can deal with the 2 sets of forwards there, and it's definitely going to come down, I think, to a kick of the game anyway at the very end of this.
Yeah, and I think, Brian, like we're talking, I think it's just keep the girls calm. You're in the game now where we wanted to be at the start, so you have 15 minutes now to be, you know, and really it's a very short space of time, but I do think we know what we'll get from Mourneabbey. They will stay in the game, and they'll break, and they'll, you know, if you give them the opportunity, they'll score, but can Can West Cork show the composure to see it out at this stage? They're the questions for me.
All square. Would you have, if you were a West Cork fan, would you have taken this at the very start that this is where you were going to be at?
Oh, sure, of course you would. But I would imagine that they would have definitely thought that they were going to be into this position. It's third time of asking now for them. It's kind of, you have to lay it on the line a small bit. Like we said, Clonakilty after winning the intermediate, they're coming up the grade now next year, so they're going to be losing Martina in the goals, a couple more players around the field. It's kind of do or die stuff here, and maybe we could have another replay like 2 years ago.
Okay, well, I'm sure the county board in normal times would be looking forward to something like that.
They'll be under pressure keeping out the stewards from Mourneabbey.
We'll have to get more stewards.
Exactly, and I'd say there's a Cork manager not too far away, Breed, as well too, that'd be worried about his plans and preparations.
That's true too.
Teams falling back into position. One person as well is Maura O'Callaghan, took that blow and came back a revitalised player afterwards, didn't she?
She has. Mara's an excellent player, and she's always likely to come into the game. But at this stage now, it's going to be a case of, as I say, composure, will to win. And I know that sounds a little bit of a contradiction, but you have to be determined, but at the same time not do silly things and taking shots from bad angles and stuff. So, and I do think again, West Cork need to put more pressure on. Again, they've allowed them a free ball here now, and this could spell danger up the other end.
Yeah, exactly.
Good tackling by Libby.
One team you don't want to be giving free balls to are Mourneabbey, because they will punish you, and they are the experienced campaigners coming down the stretch here in a county final. Ciara O'Sullivan has been leading by example this afternoon. Nice little offload to Maura. Back to Ciara again.
Back to Roisin.
Roisin O'Sullivan.
That's excellent defending now if they can keep that.
It is Darren O'Sullivan forcing them out, and as Aoife said, super defending. No one's going to go in with a rash challenge there. Siobhan Courtney, but still Darren O'Sullivan.
It's a great run from Darren.
Still Darren. And she's gone to ground, and that's a free hit. That seemed to be a harsh call.
That was very harsh, to be honest, on West Cork. She had run herself probably into a small bit of trouble. 3 or 4 defenders around her, and harsh enough call, I think, for West
experience.
Cork.
Is it Ellie Jack that's going to take this one?
Yes.
Here comes the kick. And it's sailed wide. Why the change of free taker there?
Yeah,
I'm
she
not sure,
snatched a little bit out.
Left leg kicker.
She's predominantly left leg, yeah.
Yeah, is she? Yeah.
No. Huge lane off for West Cork. Emma Spillane, first time ball, racing after it is Anya Terry O'Sullivan.
Now,
recovered
this is an
from that
opportunity
hip
to
injury.
break when
Great
Mourneabbey
ground.
are set.
Emer Kiley on the far side of the field there was hoovering up the ground, gotten route one in there towards the corner forward to Fiona Keating, but the defender from Mourneabbey did ever so well. The cornerback coming out there, seeing the danger, snapping at it and clearing it out as far as Ciara O'Sullivan, who's fouled, and it's a free out, and it's going to be another.
But again,
game.
at best, that was a 50-50 ball outside of the foot. Mourneabbey had an opportunity. I actually thought.
Yeah, it looked like that the West Cork
probably could have left Terry go early on, but
could have.
But again, they gave it away cheaply. Now they'll find it difficult to get it back.
It's Breed O'Sullivan.
And whilst that's great from Libby, you don't want her back there at this stage of the game, really.
Ciara O'Sullivan now. Back to Breed. They're fisting it now instead of kicking it. Possession, of course, is so vital coming down the stretch there. It's broken past the full back. Is it Darren with the shot, and the effort has gone over the bar, and that was a well deserved score. Very patient build up, fist passing, and eventually pulled the trigger.
Yeah, and I've no doubt they're going to keep Darren inside. That's where they need her. They need her inside there for scores. She's going to be holding that full forward line, and they need to cut out the supply that's going in.
That's a wonderful kick out
again, and that score was a result of a silly turnover again.
Wonderful kick out by the goalkeeper to pick out Emma Spillane, who would peel back there. Anyway, here it comes here with Dara Kiley. Gone route one in as far as Fiona Keating bounces off her. Great defending there by Aisling O'Sullivan, was it? Trying to work its way out to Eve Murphy. Murphy forced to go back yet again. So with Anya O'Sullivan, and the shot then coming from distance from Emer Kiley, and a rush shot and gone wide. And I think those last two passages of play show the difference between the sides.
That's it, massively. Like, Mourneabbey will not give away I suppose easy possession. They'll keep recycling. There wasn't enough movement definitely inside here with the forwards for West Cork, and Emer Kiley just snapped at a shot there, veered off to the right and wide.
Comes Aisling Cronin was the substitute that came on. It's Catherine Coakley on the ball, riding out 2 tackles, getting it in as far as Breathe O'Sullivan, forced to look backwards, going back as far as Maura O'Callaghan, who great little pass by her, and the shot that's come from her midfield partner Roisin O'Sullivan, but that one has been driven wide. But again, it just shows the composure. There was always somebody on a shoulder, someone calling for it.
There's always someone running off the shoulder. There's always, I suppose, that, hold the ball and that support is coming.
Someone looking
pressure from for the option. Great pressure, putting the full-back Sarah Hayes, good ball player from Ross Carbery. Former under-21 Munster Championship winning captain, defeating Kerry. Dara Kiley. She's going to go first time again towards Libby Coppinger. Big ball though for the full forward. Did ever so well to win possession, and Libby's on the bike now. Still Libby Coppinger being pulled down. And that's going to be a free in, and that's going to be a booking as well. Coppinger did so well.
Libby's giving an outstanding performance. She had no right to win that ball initially.
She's giving Emer plenty to think about anyway, and she's definitely has her hands full
ball
with
winning has
Libby.
been phenomenal, and her running with the ball, her speed, her tenacity. But again, that was a ball, that was made purely by Libby's determination.
It wasn't the perfect pass. The perfect pass by any manner of means.
But they should draw them level now and again with 10 minutes to go, so it's nip and tuck. But after this kick out, I would imagine that if West Cork decided to put a lot of pressure on their side, they're playing with a sweeper now. At this stage, I'm not so sure whether that's necessary, to be honest about it. They can always drop off. If they pushed up one, the sweeper could drop off. If Mourneabbey won the kick out, but Mourneabbey will always have one extra here now, so we'll see.
There's a sub coming on here.
Yep. Yet again a drawn game here. Substitute that's coming on for West Cork is wearing number 19. It's Maeve O'Donovan from Clonakilty.
Yeah, I think she played in the semi-final versus versus Ahada, wasn't it?
Yeah, Eve was injured for a couple of weeks there. She missed the last game, so
yeah, and she put in a great stint in fairness to her.
Did.
Like really did as much as she could. So hopefully Maeve will take up her mantle there.
The pressure's on, and let's see now how Mourneabbey are going to come out on this one, or more importantly, what West Cork are going to do to try and halt the champions.
That's great pressure.
Great to see Ciara O'Sullivan back helping out her defence. It's Maura O'Callaghan again. She's flying since her little enforced break. Back to Ciara O'Sullivan, who's tracking up and down between the two 45-yard lines in the course of the afternoon. Maura O'Callaghan being held up by 2 players. Yeah, that had to be a free there. Over exuberant tackling by Anya O'Sullivan and Melissa Duggan. And no complaints there from West Cork. But again, watching the patient build-up play of Mourneabbey. No one's going to take a silly decision. They've been down this road before. They know what to do, and they know who to give it to. And it's great then when you've got the likes of Darren O'Sullivan inside in your full forward line available for it. An unlikely mistake, a commentator's curse there, Breeze.
Yeah.
I think so.
The pace of the game has dropped fairly substantially, but that's understandable. And I think, when you get tired, your brain starts doing silly things, and there'll be lots of mistakes now, I'd imagine, between now and the full-time whistle, to be honest. So
yeah, both teams, in fairness, have exerted
they've given everything,
huge
haven't they? It's been a fantastic.
Huge energy. It's been a great game.
2 goals and 12 points, 3 goals and 9 points. It's an incredible spectacle of ladies football, and we are in the Irish Examiner delighted and thrilled to be broadcasting this game, and as part of our live stream service right across Cork, around Ireland and around the world. Wherever you're watching, I hope you're enjoying the game, and don't forget, more action tonight on our feeds. We have Co-op Superstores.
Good pressure
Cork
there
Premier
from West Cork.
Senior Hurling Championship quarterfinal. What a spicy derby in store between SARS and Erin's Own.
There's a massive space now being left inside,
yeah.
And I suppose, like we said earlier in the first half, they need to hold those 2 inside forward lines Libby and Fiona Keating, I suppose, need to hold inside, but it's gone a small bit scrappy there now with a couple of frees, a lot of balls being turned over in both directions, so I think the next score is going to be vital for whatever side
Libby
gets
Coppinger is on the ball. If anyone's going to manufacture a score, it's going to be Libby jinking that way. And Dara Kiley, what a strike! What a goal by Dara Kiley! Out of nothing.
That was outrageous in fairness.
Incredible piece of skill by the lady from Valley Rovers, but what a piece of skill by Libby Coppinger as well.
From Libby, yeah.
What a ball in from Libby, but what a turn completely threw her defender the wrong way and just turned low, hard, bottom right-hand corner. What a goal.
4 goals and 9 points to 2 goals and 12. Game on here in Cork CIT in the Cork Ladies Senior Football Championship final. Mourneabbey chasing 7 in a row. West Cork chasing their first ever Cork Senior Football Championship title. The clock ticking on.
Yeah, we've no clock here now, so we don't know what's left.
Of course, we will have a few stoppages as well too for those injuries, and as well subs coming on. Ciara O'Sullivan into Darren O'Sullivan. Darren O'Sullivan being held up by the full-back. Still Darren getting the shot away, and it's spun wide. Nobody getting on it. It was one of those Kieran MacDonald outside of the boot
and
efforts.
Darren's normally deadly from that range.
In fairness, and I suppose like Darren, anytime she gets the ball, she just poses huge threat to West Cork. But look, that one just tailed off there to the right and wide.
Getting word in my ear appears to be 1 minute left is on the
my God,
timer.
that was quick. That was a quick quarter.
Where does Melissa Duggan get her energy?
I'm
She's
told that we've a minute
everywhere.
left, but we will have some bit of injury time, I'm sure, given all the chopping and changing that we've had. Can Mourneabbey produce something coming down the stretch? It's Breed O'Sullivan that's on the ball there now, the captain of the side in the corner forward. Pitch opening up for Breed O'Sullivan. She's been pulled back there by Emer Kiley. It's gone into Darren O'Sullivan. The shot along the ground. And a great block on the ground by Siobhan Courtney, getting her leg to it.
But again, West Cork, a cheap ball given away, and that could have been very costly there.
Yeah, just like that, like I suppose, look, small bit of an experience. Maeve O'Donovan.
The substitute,
Yeah, just a young player and just got caught in the tackle.
They need to move the ball, don't they? They need to keep moving the ball on West Cork too.
Yeah, but the difference then on the Mourneabbey side is you can be guaranteed that they will put the ball through all their experienced players in the last minutes of this game.
Yeah.
I'd say Mourneabbey or West Cork want to park the bus there now if there's only a small bit left.
Well, with a minute of regulation, but as I say, we probably will have some other few bits and pieces. That's what I'm getting anyway. We'll see if that is the case. No boards or anything in action here. Maybe it's more than a minute. I'm told by someone that's tracking it here behind us on one of our screens that they had it as that. Anyway, let's play to the referee's whistle. Shot coming across, and it's after spilling out wide.
West Cork are just throwing bodies everywhere. They do not want to let this final go.
No,
they are determined to not make this, I suppose, the same result as last year.
Yeah, and to be fair to Mourneabbey, they're finishing like champions. They're everywhere there.
We're told 2 minutes into stoppage time is the word that I'm getting here in the earpiece. This possession going to be vital yet again, as we've said. And it's Mourneabbey here on a great hand going in and a tackle and 2 players down on top of it, and it's a free out. It's a free out for West Cork. They're going to be in no rush to take it.
Yeah, great hand in there by Claire O'Shea. And West Cork would really want to slow it down and hold possession, to be honest.
Exactly. Emer Kiley here is in front of us.
If there is that much time left.
She's got Rachel Murphy inside her there running. Libby Coppinger is tracking back in towards the 14-yard line. Takes the return there. It's Emer Kiley, her sister, scoring that wonder goal a few moments ago. Back in there towards the corner forward, Dara Kiley. She scored that wonder goal and she's driven it wide, but it's still eating up a few minutes, a few seconds at least on the clock. One of the West Cork players down on the ground there looks to be Anya O'Sullivan. Cramp is setting in, as you would expect, right across the field. 4 goals and 9 points to West Cork. Mourneabbey 2 goals and 12.
Yeah, Mourneabbey, I suppose, look clearly vexed with that. The time is moving on, and I presume the referee is going to speed things up there now. (4-9) to 2 goals and 12. The referee
standing over Anya O'Sullivan as she's getting the treatment. I'm sure the Mourneabbey players, far, as you said, Breed, far from impressed with this. Heartbreak for West Cork over the last number of years, with defeats in finals to Mourneabbey. A substitute being warmed up down there. It's another Clonakilty player, Moira Barrett, wearing number 21. Will she see game time? Poor Anya O'Sullivan is out on her feet, limping there. I think the time has gone over. Maybe we got our clock wrong. Libby Coppinger being blown out of it there as Mourneabbey come yet again at pace, and it's Ciara O'Sullivan who's done so much hard work for them. Anya O'Sullivan still down with cramp. Great to see one of the Mourneabbey players helping her out there.
I think there's four girls have cramp at this stage.
And a wonderful piece of play there back by the centre back there, and she's been pulled back. And the midfielder, should I say, Emer Kiley, being pulled back.
I think the Kileys have been very good as well today.
They have been, and very uncharacteristic there of Mourneabbey, to be fair. They always will hold on to possession, so very uncharacteristic.
I think
there
fatigue is after setting
yeah,
in.
definitely. And look, their girls dropping here. Yeah, definitely.
We have 2 here and we have another 2.
But it's just been a massive game from start to finish. Like, the energy levels have been unbelievable from both teams, you know, and you know, when you look at the championship, it's very condensed, so a lot of ball has been played in the last couple of weeks, so, you know, very tough on players. Anya Terry coming off here now,
run herself into the ground,
left everything out there.
The standard has been phenomenal as well for a club game, to be fair. And you have to hand it to Mourneabbey. You know, they're on the road for so long and they're still battling to the very end.
Melissa Duggan is down there as well too, receiving treatment. Now, let's see what the last throw of the dice is as we come down the stretch. That's a wonderful ball, and that's Fiona Keating that's on it. West Cork have their sails up. Poor old Melissa is now being employed as a full forward, I think, as the cramp is setting in there, given all the running that she's had there. It's
dangerous territory.
It is. Depending on what step, maybe they know.
They're being told, cut down, wind down the clock. Fiona is out there. Dara is out there, and it's
I don't think so.
Moya
I think
Barrett is out
Brian
there.
McCarthy's getting a bit animated here. He's getting annoyed at his players.
Yeah.
They needed to move the ball there and stop drawing Mourneabbey players.
There, so some of the younger ones got battled up over. I think
it looks like poor old Melissa
seemed. I think
is she? I'd say
injured,
or is she suffering from
Melissa
cramp?
back in the full back line at this stage.
It's important now for West Cork to try to get a stop here as much as possible.
Mourneabbey taking an extra few yards with that one. Coming out to it there, it's to be Darren O'Sullivan.
One more chance maybe.
Breed O'Sullivan having to push it off there, and they're going through the hands here with Ciara. She's got a runner inside her. It's the wing back, Anna Ryan going all the way back to Ciara O'Sullivan. It's like basketball here.
They have a lot of bodies behind the ball. It's going to be very difficult to break that.
Everyone
down.
afraid to get a hand in. And then tackle getting in there, and the referee has awarded a free in. The referee has awarded a free in. It looked to be a clear tackle.
It looked to be a good tackle
coming in. Was it Libby Coppinger?
Yeah, she looked to get the ball, to be honest. So I don't know. I suppose West Cork definitely have to just hope that that they can keep this out. There's a goal in it at the moment.
Shot, and it's dipped, and it's gone over the bar.
That's a point.
Do the math on that there, Breed, as you're looking at the clock there. What have we got? 4-9 out to 2 goals and 13.
2 points in it.
2 points in it.
2 points in it.
Is he going to blow?
He's looking at the watch, but I'm not sure.
It's Martin O'Brien who's and that's it. The final whistle has blown. The final whistle has blown. History made for West Cork. Their first ever Cork Senior Football Championship title. But listen, credit their opponents. Credit the defeated Mourneabbey, one of the great club sides of all time. They died with their boots on. But you have to say this afternoon belongs to West Cork.
Definitely, and look, Mourneabbey, like you say, you could never, ever write them off. Even from that last ball going in, you can just never write them off. And to be honest, I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have been surprised if they had snuck a goal there towards the end. They're just that type of team. They're battle hardened. They keep going until the bitter end. But today is about West Cork, and West Cork, I suppose, 2 years of defeat have definitely, shown the energy, the heart, the determination, the will to win, the never give up attitude. They just stuck with it till the bitter end. They, were able to bring off players like Anya Terry O'Sullivan, Eve Murphy, girls that had expelled all their energy on the field, and were able to bring on girls and just, everyone had their role. They knew what they needed to do, and they grinded it out until the very end. And fair play to West Cork. A fantastic game of football from start to finish.
An incredible advertisement for the club game, Aoife.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And I think, to be fair, they look fresher, and that's understandable. Mourneabbey, 7 years or whatever to 7 final. They looked a bit fresher, but as Breed said there, and you said earlier, they did with their boots on. They could. I had a feeling they might sneak a goal at the finish with the firepower they have. But to be fair to West Cork, they played very, very well today, you'd have to say. And on the balance of chances created and possession, and that you would say that they're worthy winners. They showed a lot of composure when they needed it, and that last goal was worthy of winning any match. So from that point of view, I think
that was an incredible piece of skill.
You don't like
from
singling out
Kiley,
players, yeah, but
the last goal, yeah.
The performance of Melissa Duggan today and Libby Coppinger were.
I was just about to say it was fitting that the short kick out taken by the goalkeeper just as the final whistle blew came to Melissa. Like, she from start to finish epitomised everything that was great about this West Cork team.
Yeah, definitely. And I suppose, look, I was I played with Melissa a couple of years with Cork seniors, and she really in the last couple of years has come into her own. She is playing with massive confidence. She is using, I suppose, all her strengths. Her strengths are she's as wiry, but like wiry in a very, very good way. She dies on every single ball, and like she goes up against players that could be twice the size of her, but she's a massive heart and a great engine, and by God did she leave herself out there.
Reminds me of a Kerry legend, Seamus Moynihan. May not be the biggest player on the pitch, but knows exactly what to do, where to be, and how to get things going.
Well, Melissa will always, I'm full of praise for her. I just think she's a fantastic player, but I'm just doing my job. That's her attitude. So she's a very humble individual, academically very bright, has a good job, but she's just a very humble girl who works her socks off, and was, as I say, gave a performance there today was absolutely immense.
The West Cork team are coming over here underneath us. What an afternoon it has been, and we are so delighted to be live streaming this game. A historic result in Cork ladies football, first time champions here. But we have to say about the defeated side, what a team, what a story.
Yeah, I suppose they've been on the road since they've probably gone undefeated in knockout stages since 2017. So that is a massive feat for any team. And I suppose, look, no better team to regroup and get themselves back on track again. This is going into a Munster series. They were emphatic, in the last couple of years in their domination of teams. And I suppose last year to grind out that win against Kilkerran Clonberne, they are a brilliant side. They have lost a couple of players. They have, brought in a few young girls. Every team is going through transitions, but there is plenty in that Mourneabbey team yet, and I can guarantee we definitely haven't seen the last of them yet. You look at Doireann Mara, they're only 25, 26 years of age. They're not even after hitting their peak yet, So I suppose, unfortunately for the rest of us, Mourneabbey are definitely going to be here for many years to come.
Yeah, and as Breed mentioned, the Munster and All-Ireland series is planned to continue. The Munster Club Championship in ladies football will be going into October, November, and of course into 2021 then for the All-Ireland series. But today is all about the team that's on your screen right now, West Cork. We mentioned Melissa, we mentioned her performance, but heroes and heroines right throughout the field.
Yeah, the Kileys were immense as well, I thought. I suppose it was a triumph for coming back as well. I think that's their third final. They lost the last two, and for the divisional side, it's not easy gel them together. Maybe the championship this year, in that it was so condensed, possibly favoured West Cork. I don't know. But
yeah, and a lot of momentum as well for those teams. Like you have Clonakilty in the last fortnight as well. Like you have Clonakilty that won an intermediate. You have Valleys that won a junior. You had Skib and Castlehaven, competing in a junior B final. So like there's a lot of momentum in that team. A lot of winning momentum in that team, and they brought that into today's final.
Yes, indeed. Tom Scally is down there. He'll be presenting the trophy in a few moments' time. That goal from Dara Kiley, we have to come back to that again. Worthy of winning any match.
Yeah, well, the Kiley's very good soccer players as well. They've an awful lot of basic skills. But the way she took that away, last couple of minutes of a game, of this importance, there was no saving it. It was a fantastic finish.
And you probably would have been happy with her to take the point at that stage, but to take on her player and just, I suppose, sell the dummy and put it away the way she did took a lot of confidence. And like she's still a very young player as well, so very, very good for West Cork.
Okay, well, the presentation is ongoing here. Just below us, Tom Scally, the sponsor, and from the Cork County Board as well, too, saying a few words, and he will be presenting the trophy in a few moments' time to Anya Terry O'Sullivan. But in terms as well, we have to mention tactically how West Cork got it right, considering the concession of that opening goal and the pressure that they were putting on in attack on the outcoming Mourneabbey defence.
Yeah. Well, I suppose, look, like we said, this is their third time of asking now. They've played each other probably 6-7 times over the course of 3-4 years. They know each other inside out. The Mourneabbey team hasn't changed that much in the last couple of years, whereas maybe West Cork have players in, players out small a little bit. So they know Mourneabbey inside out. They know who their target people are. They know how they want to receive the ball. They know how to try to cut it out. And I suppose maybe for 2 years they didn't get that matchup right, whereas today they definitely had their homework done. They set up correctly. They didn't panic, and maybe in years previous, maybe it was that panic that set in, and that togetherness that a club would normally have. Today they showed that they played like a club.
Yeah, and once they got their sweeper system right, like Ciara wasn't able to break. If she broke a tackle, it was the second girl there for her. Some Mourneabbey really after the second goal. I can't remember any clear-cut goal chance Mourneabbey had after that. So the last 5 minutes was just a matter of getting bodies back, but I do think they never looked like conceding a goal once they got themselves right, and that's the most important thing, because they always have the firepower up front themselves. They'll always create chances. So whether you could argue that they got a right tactically, I don't know. I just think there was a little bit more in them today. There was more in their legs. They looked that bit more determined.
Okay,
their tackling was immense as well.
Anya Terry received the trophy from Tom Scally, greeting the applause of the West Cork squad and management team under Brian McCarthy. And what a momentous occasion that is, and what a historic occasion is. And I suppose, Breed, it is sad in a certain way that West Cork don't have their family, their friends, their fans here to witness this afternoon.
Yeah, it is, and I suppose West Cork is made up of something like 11 clubs, stretching from Allahees to Innishannon. And like I said before, imagine if this stadium was full like it was the last 2 years. What an atmosphere would have created. I definitely think the roof would have been blown off it. But look, I suppose the streaming is the next best thing, and what a service it has been, throughout championship all over the county and the country. So it's the next best thing, and I suppose I can guarantee there's plenty sitting rooms hopping, I suppose, in West Cork now. Yeah,
delighted. Our pleasure and privilege to be able to bring the game to so many people that couldn't attend, and hopefully that will be changing in the weeks ahead. If you were going to have to ask you about the day job and about the championship.
Well, I have major reservations about the championship as it stands in terms of health and safety, and not so much the COVID, but the fallout from the COVID. I mean, if we don't have showers, we have girls travelling an average of 75 miles a night, most girls. If we don't have showers and hot food and that, you're driving, say, Anya Terry have to come from Castletown Bear in the middle of winter, and we're not getting any answers. I'm blue in the face from talking to the LGFA about what's the situation if, and how do we counteract this? It's going to be very dangerous. I feel the carpooling is another issue. If you can't carpool, you have inexperienced drivers, young girls coming, maybe their mothers having to drive them and that. So the club thing has been fantastic, and it's been a great success. But we're moving into the worst of the weather now for the next 3 months, and if somebody gets COVID, then say during the week or threaten COVID, you're out of the championship. If the weather is very bad and they can't get a pitch, what do they do then? So there's no answers to any of these things, because there's no. And then the camogie then is on similar weekends to when we're playing. So there's a whole range of things. And then the Munster Club Championship is in October, so our preparations obviously with Mourneabbey in it, and there'll be Clonakilty and Valley Rovers as well. There's a whole range of things there for me, but primarily it's the safety of the girls really in terms of their travel. And whilst I suppose you might get away with the travel, but if you haven't got a shower at the end of a long training session, driving 60 or 70 miles home, I don't think that's acceptable. And as well as that, the extra cost in if they can't carpool, the girls don't get any expenses, so it's going to be doubly difficult. And getting to matches, there's a whole range of things, so we need answers to those things. I feel, going back to the football side of it, we're supposed to go back training this week. We'll sit down and we'll plan and we'll have a look at it. But I do think they need to answer fundamental questions before we proceed with the competitions themselves. Because at the end of the day, who's it benefiting if you can't have crowds? There's 4 matches there on the ladies' side of things. Two group matches if you're successful there. You have a semi-final and a final. A final 6 days before Christmas. It's very difficult, I think.
Very challenging.
So,
I presume the ladies, chiefs and the GA and the RFU and everyone like that are waiting on government's roadmap next week.
Yeah, but that's not going to change the winter, and it's not going to change. With the COVID, I just saw on my phone there's another 159 cases today and a couple of more deaths. So I think that's quite serious in itself. And again, at that side of it, like I have 2 elderly parents at home, and likewise some of the girls, a lot of the girls are frontline workers, be they teachers or nurses or doctors or whatever. And I'm talking nationally now, not just the Cork girls. So there's a lot of factors to look at before we decide that this competition is worthwhile doing. And I do think we certainly need the fundamentals right anyway, in terms of, as I said, the dressing rooms and showers and stuff like that, because you can't ask anybody at that time of the year, I think, to sit into their car and drive home after. It's okay for the city. Well, we don't have too many city girls, but if you have to sit into a car and drive home in wet clothes or just changing your clothes, you're going to get sick and whatnot. So. But we'll see. I mean, and I know it's very difficult, and it's difficult for the government and NEFL, and things change every 5 minutes. But I do think in terms of sport and that, we do need to get more answers before I'd be happy certainly to.
Okay. Well, I suppose we can be thankful that we've had a county championship at least.
And it's been brilliant, hasn't it?
And it has been a fantastic competition, and it has been a fairy tale ending as well too, Brit, finally.
Yeah, sure. I suppose it has been a fairy tale ending for West Cork, and I suppose, look, if anything, I think this year has definitely proven, how a split season could definitely work, and I would definitely be an advocate for it. I think it has been absolutely amazing for clubs. It has brought girls, I suppose, that maybe are caught a lot with county training. Maybe there's, they're training the same nights, can't be there with their clubs. It has just invigorated clubs up and down the country. And I suppose even, because of the streaming then as well, you're seeing fantastic games, fantastic club games. Clubs are coming together and streaming over YouTube, Facebook, and then you have, fantastic matches being shown. We saw the Dublin Championship, the Mayo Championship, the Tyrone one that ended in penalties. Like, when would you have gotten a chance to see that? Like,
and they're very enjoyable.
They are fantastic, and it's brilliant to
enjoyable.
sit down at the weekend and just watch those games and that enjoyment. And I suppose then, like, for the county team, or for the county players, obviously, look, not everyone is playing club football at the moment, and there's probably a long layoff for some. A lot of uncertainty: is it going to go ahead? Is it not going to go ahead? But I think on a whole, any player up and down the country would be very, very happy to play a split season, half it with their club, and then go into a county setup.
Yeah.
Okay, that is where we're going to have to end it this evening. What an afternoon of football, and what an afternoon of analysis. Breed and Aoife, absolutely delighted to have your company alongside me. That's the noise in the background of the West Cork squad. the new Cork Senior Football Champions, has a nice little ring to it for the first time ever. But credit also to the defeated Mourneabbey, 6-time champions in a row. The journey had to end somewhere. It ended here in Cork IT on a sunny Saturday afternoon. That is where we have to end our broadcast. Not our end of our broadcast though for tonight, because we have Co-op Superstore's Cork Premier Senior Hurling Championship coming up in about an hour's time. That's with Oisin Langan. Hopefully you'll be able to stay tuned for that. But it is the end of our broadcast here from Cork IT on a wonderful weekend for West Cork and a wonderful weekend for Cork Ladies Football, and on a weekend that should have been the weekend of the All-Ireland Senior Final in normal times. And our friends in TG Carr and the Ladies Football have put together a little video to give us a little taste of what's to come. We're going to play out with that. Thanks to all the team here, thanks to Breed and Aoife, and thank you indeed for watching. Hopefully we'll have your company again very soon.
Mary Kerman the leash, Hawhicken, second, hot point to Bartica, Augustin Buzzer Puente, Cathay Barclay and a Blaher, Agus Trace Hucht, Neeracht, Surams Baram, and Heiki Nukasun, Hoshin Takashach on Bosov. Put Jack the shoe, the John Holy Harris of last now, like a ship painter, and Stackedy, Gillian George, shut off the clock, goes the board! Agus Cathay mar fórdig is Cathay in it Clark. Very well carried-ish. Maybe not shoot the soccer. He had neither in the kick in the piano should not get on tape Kane at the turnabout. Contest Olsen, Hela Taget Partner. Tarish down the head, Sparshitsa, Shakti Balkahi, Shatter Home. Indian the Packington Council on that here the Dietano Hatema Hasach the Horking. Lastig, she shot by the hole, Hasha Dietake Arstoin. Anachadin Sposh, Cossatori, Milton Achatona Cleon, they got the Tussin, Shahin Chance! Agus Ksifte, Compagita! Stach agus tá tic fair meutige alle jacker Kremu for the Stach of the show as she push down it's what happened. Agus fight to get Kira Sullivan let me on the hood Stach reached it so shot to hole on he kind of a push a fight again in Scully. Tá sé tíanta a réiste.